You know, I'm going to start leaving those. I'm going to start delegating those
Oh,
things
I
to you.
remember. I
Okay, good,
remember.
good.
I remember.
Yeah.
Hello, world, and welcome to our podcast where three pals with different viewpoints and thoughts who really don't know much of anything fly by the seat of their pants discussing news, politics, conspiracy theories, and much, much more. I bit my tongue earlier, so I'm a little. Two are a genius and the other's an idiot.
Or two idiots and one's a genius.
Or are
Ooh.
they all geniuses?
You be the judge. Now, live from Central Florida, welcome to Political No Brainer. Your hosts on your extreme right, it's me, Zach. To your center right, Derek, the entertainer. And to your left, and feeling left out because he's going to get banged up again, it's Coach
Hammer
Trippy.
time.
Hammer, let's go.
Listen,
Listen,
Or is it a series of conspiracy theories, Zach?
that's coming up
there are conspiracy
live from
theories.
Central Florida. There will be some spears. Look, I can't even talk tonight. Conspiracy theories.
Listen, let's clear the books. You are our hostess with the mostest.
Thank you. I am your
The
host for
hostess with the
Or we'll
tonight's.
say
mostest.
host with the most since you've identified yourself today as a man, and we're happy about that. And we love you and appreciate you no matter what you decide.
You know,
Yes.
funny you say that because Trippy identified as a woman earlier today.
That's pretty cool, man. I like that.
Yeah. For a short moment.
He was briefly my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's how convenient of you, bud.
No,
No, no.
two old bald guys. No, no, no,
No, no, no.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, you guys
That's
are
just
old and bald. That sucks.
Oh, thanks. Young and not bald.
I got my hair cut today. I got my hair cut.
Did you
See,
get
you
like
got your hair
your
cut.
ears lowered? You know, here's a
see,
conspiracy theory,
see up
Trippy.
here. It's dark. See, there's like this voluminous wave up here. We call this hair. Keeps.
Oh, dude, I forgot. I got your Thanksgiving present. It's right here.
Oh, I got your cake tomorrow too. Wait till you take a bite, buddy.
Woo, baby. I'm waiting.
Whoa.
I'm waiting.
You're gonna be like
So,
the in Dumb and Dumber who takes the beer and spits it out because it's urine.
hey, as long as it's not full of laxatives like that scene in Dumb and Dumber. That my when I was married to my first wife 100 million years ago, my stepdaughter then she was a little kid, and dude, that scene, her and I would watch it over and over again and just be on the floor crying. It was
Well, when
so
he
funny.
spits it out.
No, when he's in the bathroom after he ate the all the laxatives,
Oh yeah,
he's just
yeah.
like, oh,
Oh.
that was the best.
Wait, what did he eat? Was that from like hot sauce or like peppers or?
No, no, no. He put like laxative in his coffee or something. It was like
Oh
super
yeah, that's right. Because he
lax.
was pissed at him because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was.
because he was trying to date. He thought he was trying to date the chick he wanted.
There was a time in the early 2000s where that movie was on TBS three times a day.
It was a
So
great
in
movie.
order, like
It was
the
a
like
great
if you watched
movie.
baseball, the Braves at all in the late 90s, early 2000s,
Yes, they were always on TBS at night.
it was impossible to not view Dumb and Dumber at least once a week because that also was on TBS. And I'm
That
not even
and
exaggerating.
that and Major League
Yeah.
with Charlie Sheen, Wild Thing.
That was
Yep.
a
Yeah,
good movie.
it was. It was not
It
bad.
was it was they're both good movies the first 35 times.
Matter of fact, there's a scene in it where the old guy who was I want to say the first, he was a relief pitcher or something, and the big black guy had the statue in his locker, and he had the little shot glass and the candles burning. And the old guy walks up and he drinks and he's like, "F you, Jabu," and then he goes out and gets hit by the baseball bat. So I say "F you, Jabu" all the time, and my
That's
Gloria
where
knows
you got
exactly.
that
Yeah,
from.
that's where I got it from. Yeah,
I
yeah,
know that. No, no, no.
yeah. There you
Now
go.
you know.
Hey, so here's a conspiracy theory trip. Derek's wife. I've never seen her. I've never met her. I don't believe she exists. I believe it's a figment of his imagination.
Might be.
I mean, I feel bad. She's up in Michigan and it's probably snowing, isn't it?
No, it's not snowing,
But
but you
it's
should feel
cold.
bad for what she has to do this week because she
I'm
has to
sure
take
she's
care of
taking care of her mother. Her
her
mother was
mother
in a
who
car
was in
accident.
a totaled car who cannot
Oof.
walk for 4 months,
Oh,
whose insurance will not give her an in-home care nurse who cannot bathe herself, whose nurse did not show up tonight to bathe her for Thanksgiving tomorrow. It is
oh,
a, I'm saying too much, but it is a house of sorrows.
that's
And
terrible.
And my
I
wife
feel bad for
actually,
making fun of you for not having a wife,
you
but
know what? I'm gonna make you feel horrible. I'm not even half done, okay? So then, so then I'm all alone. No, listen, you have one saving grace. I'm all alone tomorrow. You invited me over. I'm coming. I'm gonna make it miserable, but thanks for doing that. So anyway, so she orders a Cracker Barrel feast Thanksgiving feast for the entire household in Michigan on moi, of course. And I say, after she gets a flat tire in her rental car from her brother driving over a nail and a guy coming to fix the donut and exchanging at Enterprise Rental and then driving to Granville, Michigan to Cracker Barrel to pick it up, I say, check it. They are so busy, they're going to mess it up. Brings it home all the way to Kentwith, 35 hours, 35 minutes away, and says, they did not give the mashed potatoes or anything else. And I said, you should have checked it. And I think she cried and I was a jerk. So you are a dick. But keep
Hey,
She
I'm
is
not
not
either a
having a
jerk
fun.
or a
She's
dick in
not
this
having a
moment.
fun week. So she does exist. I don't think I could have. Man, if I did make that up, that was an incredible, brilliant
that was
visualization.
very quick. Yeah, you
That
were
is
on the
just
fly.
that is just what has transpired in the
Listen,
last 7 hours.
listen, tomorrow will make you feel like family. You won't.
That was the last 7 hours alone.
Oh my
Nothing to do with
gosh.
That's
my.
awful. Did she
But
go back and
listen,
get the
It is
mashed
a
potatoes?
trail of
did she go
tears.
get the mashed potatoes?
Well, they closed at 9, so she said she was going to. I haven't heard from her yet. I hope they would have left by now. I'll text her right now, and I'll actually show you so you believe she's alive, and then we can move on to important subjects about Trippy's laundry or whatever the hell else he did this week.
Hey, we
I
came up
actually,
we came up with an idea, Trippy, for every show. Um, one of us is going to wear some crazy shorts or pants or a towel and get up and walk away because you're notorious for walking away with a towel.
Yeah, you're like Val Venus WWF days, like come out with a towel and
I,
hello.
you know, I could take that on, that full responsibility on. Not you two don't have to do it. I could do it every day. I could wear it.
Okay, yeah, you do that. Now we know what you identify as.
Oh
But
my
I'll
That's
stand
that's
up
goodness.
for
more that's more up your more up your what do you call that?
persona.
Allie,
No, that's more in your wheelhouse.
Allie.
My,
Identifying with other things. Now, have you guys ever seen like Kevin O'Leary when he does like the newscast and they show the camera behind the camera where you can see the cameraman, you can see him, and he's got a professional screen behind him in a business suit, and then his bottom is like these Japanese pajama pants with like it's
Is
just
that
two
is that
guys
Miss
just
is that Mr. Wonderful?
yeah, because he just don't
Yeah.
give a crap, right? I mean,
Right.
why
Well,
should
when you're that rich, who cares, right?
right, who cares? So I think we're gonna start that theme where someone like Zach can wear a zoo boss one day. You can have your towel trippy. I'll put the
I'll
mom.
wear a, what do they call those skirts that the kilts? I'll wear a
Oh,
kilt
kill. You
one
know,
day.
when I was
Kilts
over
are
in
actually cool, so you can't do that. It's too cool.
when I was over in
Hey,
England,
it's
I
still
actually
different
went
for.
shopping for a kilt and we went over to Scotland. I was going to buy them and they're not cheap.
That's because they're freaking real wool, man.
I
They're
know this.
wool,
And look, this was
yeah.
in 1986 and a kilt was like 800 pounds.
How much is
No,
that? That's a
That's
thousand
not the weight.
dollars.
That's, yeah, it was,
no, 86. That would be like 3 grand today.
I'm telling you, the shop I went into, and it came with all the leather
Would you go
pouch
in?
and
Did you go to into Gucci Edinburgh?
I don't know where we went.
Did
Was it a
you
Gucci kilt?
I couldn't
did
even
you buy
understand
the
what they were saying
accordion
half
with
the
it?
time. They
The
don't a bagpipe, you big
We don't play
meatball. It's not
accordions in
accordion, it's a
in
bagpipe.
bagpipe.
Scotland, you damn fool.
Ugh, he's Jewish.
I
What does
will
he know?
say, when we were in Edinburgh on the Royal Mile that leads up to the castle from Holyrood House, where Princess Diana would, be in the summertime, all the way up to the castle. They have a lot of those shops and stuff, and it's no 800-pound kilt, but they would have, wool kilts and scarves and stuff, and
I
and they
could have
were
swore it could have been 300 pounds. I don't know, but it was expensive. It was more
yeah,
than I
they're
was
not
willing to
cheap because
spend.
they're actually real wool. They're real. They're like really made by like you would buy one, and you'd have it your whole life, and you'd be happy with it.
Right. I
So it's
shopped at Harrods.
huh?
When I was in England, we went and shopped at Harrods.
Oh heck
Harrods?
yeah, Harrods.
Yeah.
There's Harrods and Selfridge.
We were in it was down by Piccadilly Circus, I want to say.
Nope, Piccadilly is by Trafalgar Square. You were over in Mayfair by Knightsbridge, which is all the oil money now.
I don't know, it was downtown in London.
No, no, it's Knightsbridge. It's right by Hyde Park,
Okay, but we went. And then they have a basement where all the scratch and dent stuff is.
and
That's
that's
where
where
I
the
shopped.
Christmas. That's where the Christmas stuff is now.
But
I
you know where
bought
the greatest Christmas stuff is?
The
In
basement,
Michigan.
Frankenmuth,
Frankenmuth.
Bronner's, Michigan. Yes.
And
Trippy, you're making me
brownies.
sad. You're making me sad because since we moved to Florida, our tradition went away. Our tradition was to go to Frankenmuth every year for 4 days during Thanksgiving, and it was amazing because it would be dead, and then they would do the Christmas tree lighting, and then it would be Black Friday crazy, and then you go to Bronner's and eat that Zender's chicken. That was the best tradition. You're right. You're right. Bronner's and Frankenmuth during Thanksgiving and Christmas time beats Harrod's Basement Christmas display.
Heck yeah.
Saying a
You're
lot.
making me sad. I never even
Now
been
you
there, but
you
I
know
know
you
all
know
about it.
you know what our traditions were.
You've been there, right, Zach?
No,
You've never been?
no.
Oh my gosh, guys, please go live.
So I went to
I'm going.
I've been to
I'm going.
Sparta. I've been to Sparta, Michigan. I've been to Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
No
Please,
Frankenmuth.
please, please
I
go to
have some
Frankenmuth.
frankincense and myrrh rubbed on my knee right now.
It's the most amazing little Bavarian town ever. It's so Bavarian, quirky, and real. Like summer, you can do like the beer and the dancing.
Do they do a German fest, Oktoberfest?
Yep, they do those. And then Thanksgiving, they do the tree lighting and it's all festive. And then all Christmas season. And then their Christmas store is about 150,000 square feet. Now, that's the size of a good size factory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's just all Christmas store. It's basically like, a miniature mall
And all
slash
they sell is Christmas stuff. That's it.
all Christmas
Doesn't
everywhere.
doesn't downtown Disney turn into like Christmas villages? They have like stores that specifically
Yeah.
sell just Christmas stuff. Yeah. I
Mm,
mean,
they don't
I'm
have like
sure it's
pop-up
not no
stores.
Franken Mirth, Frankenmuth,
Muth.
Muth. Bless you.
It's nothing like it, but they deck it all out and then
And
I
all the
mean there's
Mickey
like
They have
Mouse, the
there's
stuffed
Santa.
Mickey Mouses are all Santa Mickeys and
yeah,
Santa.
yeah.
not that much, but like they have a Christmas store in Disney Springs and they have a Christmas store in Magic Kingdom that's all year round Christmas.
See,
Yeah, they do.
I really have not explored the new Disney Springs. I used to go to when it was
Downtown Disney, baby.
downtown Disney,
Pleasure
yeah.
Island.
I was there at Pleasure Island. I remember
Pleasure
that.
Island. Every night was New
What
Year's Eve.
what was
Douche,
that
douche,
club,
douche,
Trippi, with
douche,
that
douche.
used to
Mannequins.
yeah, the floor used to spin.
Mannequins.
Was that Pleasure
Watching
Island?
drunk people getting off the floor. Oh my
That's
gosh, it
now
was the best.
Morimoto's.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a two-story. You go into the top floor and you look down, and the dance floor used to go slowly in a circle,
Right.
So
just
the
slowly
Morimoto
spin.
wasn't a new construction that was repurposed from that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I
Morimoto's
did not
is
know that. Thank you for giving me Disney knowledge.
And what
that
was the
is now,
cowboy
yeah,
bar
that,
that
that
was
wasn't no
across
no, that
the?
wasn't new construction. No, that building's the same building all along.
See,
What
the
was the
new part of
cowboy
Disney
bar?
Springs, Zach, is the west side, but
It's a
there
country
was
bar.
stuff there. It's just they've expanded on. I'm sorry, and the west side isn't new. That would be the connector kind of between the west.
Saratoga Springs is new.
Yeah, but like,
Saratoga.
but Disney Springs, it's between the west side and like World of Disney, where they have
Right.
real nice Rodeo Drive-ish kind of.
So when I worked at Planet Hollywood,
Right. They do have Rodeo Drive stores. They really do.
so
Yeah,
when I worked at Planet Hollywood, Pleasure Island was all bars.
yeah.
Right.
It's a nightclub,
And then they
man.
changed it over. Now it's all shopping stores and restaurants.
Now Disney Springs closes at like 11.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
What if there's a
ever since
concert at House of
COVID.
Blues?
Well, they'll
You
be
can get
late.
in and out of there without really getting on Disney Springs property.
So they don't have nightclubs that are open late over there anymore?
No.
Really? So I guess you got to go to
No.
Universal City Walk.
Well, even City Walk, I mean, they
City
only
Walk's closing early too.
City
11:20.
Walk's like midnight at the latest, but
I remember Bob Marley's would go. Oh my gosh, it would go. It
But
was
even
packed.
even the movie theaters empty out later than 11. But still, you're
Right,
not
but
going
you're
to
right
be
by the
able
parking
to.
lot.
Yeah.
What time does
Same with the House of Blues, really.
what time does Planet Hollywood close?
They probably 11.
Yeah,
They're
we're
just a
11.
dinner. What is that?
What is that? Did she get the
Oh, that's
mashed
her
potatoes?
text.
this would be the
Did she get
wife you
the?
don't believe I have.
Oh, come on.
And this would be
I'm
me,
just
me
busting
saying,
your
this
chops.
would be me saying, did you go to Cracker Barrel? And she said, my uncle came over. I'm on my way now. I say, okay, babe, keep me updated. Podcast now. Timestamp 11:19 p.m. and it's 11:20. So keep on with your fake story while I look.
Oh, come on.
This is how
We
fake
want to
stories
meet her. That's
start.
why we've invited you out with her. And
I'm gonna be real. My
I know she's real because you went to Europe with her. I saw pictures.
my wife does not like going out at home.
No?
Nope.
I got a little secret for you.
In fact, and I mean this in the most loving way possible. She doesn't when we're not traveling, for her to leave the house is extremely rare. Maybe
That's the
once
same with my wife, really.
Hi, Bubby.
She doesn't get out much.
And
I
I
got
think
a
like it's because where we came from, Grand Rapids, there was nothing to do, and now Orlando, there's like too much going on, and it's almost overwhelming. Where it's like,
Yeah, but she could join us for dinner.
She could, but what if we go running at midnight? She won't break that habit.
So you guys
She
still
has
run
to
every night at midnight,
every night, every night, every
7 days
night,
a week.
every freaking Bhutan death march
So we'll do dinner at 5 o'clock.
breakfast.
All right, we'll meet a Saturday
Breakfast.
morning for breakfast. There's a place here in Orlando that I really love going to. It's called Grills.
Where?
It's on OBT just south of John Young. It's right on the
You
water.
can't be south of John Young and OBT. They're parallel to each other.
No, they cross each other.
Where? By downtown?
No, sort of north of downtown. So where Lee Road
Oh,
turns into
okay,
John
okay. So it's
Young,
up. Isn't that like Pine Hills, dude?
it's past that.
Oh, further north.
Further south. Keep going towards like you're going downtown. You're on OBT. John Young, which is Lee Road, turns into John Young at OBT right there. You go past that big bridge that, where it goes over,
Yeah.
and it's called Grills at Lakeside it'll be on your left. It's a big joint. They do an amazing breakfast. Huge.
Grills on
Another
Lakeside.
amazing place is in Celebration, the Disney town called not Celebration Tavern, but the Downtown Diner.
Oh yeah. So funny
And
My
it's
story.
friend told me about that.
Let
and
me tell
that's
you a
right.
little secret.
It's right across from the Italian place, and right next door. Hey, girl. Listen, hold on. Hi, girl. Hi. Ah, she won't talk to me. Um, that's my little girl. Um,
She
but
misses her mommy.
it's right next to the Celebration Tavern, and they used to only be open till like 1 or 2, but I think they're open till 7 now. Long story short, okay, this place, everyone says they like their breakfast place. Okay, there's a million good breakfast place, and this is why I say this. They have some items that I've never really seen before, and I've seen a lot. They have an item called a cinnamon roll, and I don't know if this is the name, but this is what it is. It's a Belgian waffle cinnamon roll. They
Mm,
take a massive cinnamon style cinnamon roll and they put it in a waffle maker.
mm.
I am kidding you not. I don't think you've ever seen this.
My diabetes is going through the roof already
Your
right now.
diabetes has your A1C has gone to 11 just hearing about this.
Just thinking about it.
Dude, I have never a million breakfasts, every Disney breakfast, Olivia's, Chef Mickey's, I don't care. Eh, this item is so uniquely beautiful.
And this is at the Celebration Diner.
The downtown diner, which is in Celebration, it's
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of
I
the
know where it is. Well, let me tell you a secret about it or a story.
across from what's the Italian place that Jersey Shore went to? Sampastini's or I don't know, whatever it's called.
That's in Celebration?
Yeah.
But
So Lorianne and I got married in Celebration.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Where?
Right
At
in
the
the park.
hotel?
No, in the park.
Sweet.
It's
Wow.
where we went on our first date. We met at Celebration because she used to live down there and I met her there and we went out there. Anyway, we got married on Christmas Day, 2011, and we
Dude,
walked to find something open, and the only place that was open was the diner. And so we had our wedding party at the diner.
seriously.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Were you eloping?
No, it was me, my mom, her dad and mom,
Trooper.
my friend Doug and his girlfriend, and then my buddy who's a pastor. We went down there, we met in the park. Lorianne picked the spot out. She said, I want to get married right here. And we got married right
What
there.
was it? Was it the park like by the clubhouse, by the pool, like that you walk around the lake? Was it the which park?
Yeah, the
Okay.
park right there.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I could even find the spot anymore, but I used to know where it was.
See, what would be cool now is like if you had a little wedding party, there's this little boutique hotel at the other side of that path, kind of beyond where Avocado is.
I know where the Celebration Hotel.
I don't know if I don't think it's called like the Lakefront or something or
It's got the big sign that comes down the front. It's like looks like a 1950s
yeah,
hotel. It's got the
that would be
cars
a
out
cool.
front.
They just this most killer lounge when you walk in. It's the coziest like chairs that you can get lost in. It's just I don't know. It's like the coolest little place.
Yeah, but it's
That'd be a
probably
great little honeymoon
expensive.
spot.
Probably expensive to get married in there.
Expensive.
I
Expensive.
mean, I don't know. Even but I'm saying like a little, just spend a night or two there for a couple
Oh.
hundred bucks.
Well, anyway, we got married there and then we went
Sweet.
to had dinner at the diner and then they brought out I don't remember if it was cake or something, but they brought out everybody a piece and it was on them. They took care of us. It was pretty nice. It was the only place open for Christmas.
That sounds nice.
That is an amazing, epic story that I really care about, Zach.
You should. It's when I got married to my
I
love of my
care.
life.
And I wasn't even there. What the
Well,
hell?
I didn't care about any stories you had so far tonight, Trippy, so I was just trying to be genuine. Like, hey, okay, one fun fact since we're sharing and we're in the mood.
Derek is
You might know
ruthless
this
tonight.
already, but we didn't move here till July 2021. And I wasn't even a Disney dude till like 2014. Um my wife and I met in late 2009. We didn't get married till May 2017. We lived together since 2011, so like we were kind of a long time before getting married. Um and we eloped to Disney World for 10 days and stayed at Wilderness, Grand Floridian, Riverside, and Old Key West, and we got married in the wedding chapel at the Grand Floridian on our
Oh,
own with the Cinderella carriage,
nice. No,
balls
no,
out.
no, no, no family, no nothing
Nothing. We invited cast members throughout the week before we got married.
that you knew, or you just people you met and just
Just we
invited them.
met and they all came and it was
No,
awesome. And they
that's
were
awesome.
so, my
Wow.
wife still talks to them this day and we live here now.
That's amazing.
That's
And
amazing.
dude,
Did you
so
guys walk around with the bridal the groomsmen and bride Mickey Mouse ears?
yeah, you do well, so we did pictures in the parks like before dawn as part of our photo package, and we had those as kind of props at certain times. But listen, the average wedding now is like if you have a big wedding at a nice place is what, 25, 30 grand,
Or
ridiculous.
more.
Or more?
So this was, not too long ago. So I would say back then the average wedding was 20 to 25. So between that and the wedding and everything was probably 13 to 14 grand total. Stay at deluxe resorts for 10 days, and we had that pavilion, and we had the actual Cinderella carriage, which was $3,000
Whoa.
Ooh,
for 1 hour
that
And the
three
horse just
thousand
took you
dollars.
guys around.
on
Nice.
me. Oh, and not even. And then one night we got like they gave us a limo to the Waldorf Astoria and then back through the Epcot, the what do you call it? The back roads of Epcot to walk straight into like Rose and Crown and with a private dinner party with our limo driver just drinking champagne. Got drunk on champagne in the limo for like 5 hours. It was awesome. It was
That
just
is
like we literally like this is what my wife and I can say because we weren't getting along with our families good at the time. And we were just like, you know what? F this. I'm not paying $30 a plate to feed someone who talks shit about me all the time. So that's
right.
what we did. So we said, you know what? Let's just take it all. Let's do it, pay for ourselves. And I will say this, and it's true, and this is what I love. Probably maybe the only thing I really love about my life at this point. It was the best day we've ever had, and it was the best like vacation we've ever had. Even though we've been crazy places, it sincerely was. Like it
Really?
was the best day ever. We weren't worried about people. It
Right.
was a blast. It was chill. Dude, we walked down the aisle after getting married to the electrical light parade, man. Like Disneyland. You know what that is, Trippy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came down the aisle to the Darth Vader Death Star Death Mark, like dun 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 dun. It was just, dude, it was sweet.
That's
Were you guys
amazing.
in a wedding gown and tuxedo or
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
oh
I got
okay.
pictures. There, I'll send you pictures to prove it, Zach.
No, I'm not disbelieving you. Stop. I'm giving you a hard
No,
time.
we were decked out. We had all our stuff shipped down, and they
But we
steamed it.
can post wedding pictures whenever you want. That would be nice.
No,
Yeah, we put
actually,
it on
we
the
got
website.
featured on a Disney blog,
Did
wedding
you
blog.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
still find it somewhere if you search Derek and Rachel Magical Wedding, whatever it
I
was.
will look for it.
Dude, it
Yeah.
was just awesome. It was just a good time in my. It was a
Well,
very
no,
good.
so our wedding we decided to do so two reasons. My lease was up in at the end of December
Yeah.
and we wanted to I didn't want to we were going to get married in May. And I said so the next 5 months I got to do find a place to live or do, month to month
Were you living
because
together at the
no,
time?
no, we
No,
did not. We did not
you were
want to do
straight
that.
leg raised.
Yeah, we were doing it because of our kids. We wanted to set an example.
Smooth.
And so we said, you know what? Forget it. The wedding was stressing me out because I'm like, we're trying to, who can we invite? How many people? I found a place in Winter Park we are going to do and this, that. It was just getting out of control. The money was
Yeah.
ridiculous. And
Yeah.
both of us agreed, you know what? Why are we going to pay for our friends to come down, eat food, and get drunk on us? And, we're stressing about it. So why don't we let's just go get married? We
That's
talked to our
awesome.
parents, both, and her mom and dad. And my mom was all for it. My mom came down, and it was very private, intimate, quiet, and it was just with, it was cool. I feel bad because there was people I would have loved to have had, but
Hmm.
you know what? I invited people to my first wedding that didn't even show up. So
And you probably have people from your first wedding who were upset that you didn't invite them, or you did, like you always,
yeah.
there's no way you can please the world.
Well, I
And
got
you,
married. I got married at by the Justice of the Peace in Texas. When my
The
first
first wedding.
marriage.
which
Yeah.
means what? The courthouse?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was me and my best friend, Dr. Wesley Green,
You got
and my
married
other
to a guy?
no. It was my
See,
best
the
man,
truth
my
comes
best friend.
out.
There it is. That's where my Emily and Andrew came from. They're really not my kids. I adopted them. That's why they look just like me. But,
The most
I got
dreadful
lucky.
conservatives when it comes to homosexuality are the homosexual conservatives.
And you should know. And hey, here's a funny story. I was at this guy's wedding.
You were?
Yeah.
I was. He
When'd you
was. It was
when'd you get
fun. It was
married,
nice.
Trippy?
20,
Longwood. It was beautiful. It was an
No,
old
when?
Victorian house, right there on
20 years ago, right, Trip?
20
Dude.
over 20, 21
Yeah.
now.
So what year
Okay.
was it,
Was it
Trippy?
your first marriage?
His
Yeah,
only marriage.
Good for
first and
you.
only.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
You didn't get married to some beach bum when you lived in Hawaii?
No, we didn't get married. We just dated.
He doesn't remember.
He was a what do you call it? A millionaire. What are those kids called that just live off their money on the beach for a while?
Beach bums.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's what it's called.
And it was all gone. I had to get money borrow money to go home.
You had to borrow money to leave the island.
Uh, I was ready to go though. It was fun though
Really?
while it
That's a
lasted.
pretty typical liberal thing, Trippy. Right.
I
Wasn't
paid it
Hawaii
back
wasn't
though.
Hawaii ridiculously expensive though?
It is
It
now.
was the thing is like I got an apartment which isn't dumb, but it was back then it was expensive for what it was, but it was certainly wasn't Hawaii can get real expensive, but it was just like small place right on the beach. And we
So
would always add roommates. I mean, we had 4 or 5 roommates. I remember one of them was sleeping on the lanai. We all got drunk and locked the lanai, and he was stuck in the rain, so he never came back and never paid his rent. So
Good way to get rid of him. Treat him like a stray dog.
so I went out to California in 1988, and I was going to move there. Went out to visit a friend for her graduation, high school graduation, and her parents loved me and they wanted me to come out. And her dad was like good friends with the sheriff, and he was going to get me a job and blah blah blah. And so we were looking. I could have lived in her garage, but somebody else lived there, and I said, so we went
Sounds like today's times.
right. So and they lived in a town called Grover. It's called Grover Beach now, but it was just called Grover Town or something back then,
Okay.
right by San Luis Obispo.
Okay.
And so we went, and she's like, I have a friend whose parents have a mother-in-law house in the backyard. It was like a little apartment, basically. And it was a pool house. It was a one-bedroom, little efficiency kitchen. It was just a little cute little place. It was great, right? 1988, they wanted $700 a month.
see, that's what like I was
I
paying.
was like, no, what? I wouldn't pay you $200 a month. But that's California. Could you
That
imagine
was
if
like
I
Hawaii. That's what I was paying. It was
imagine
a
if I
small
moved to
place.
California? I might be
Hawaii
liberal
now,
now.
like, I mean, Hawaii, it's so bad that you either have family land or leased land, or you're super rich, or you just live in a tent.
Yeah.
It's bad. Mark
There is
Zuckerberg
nothing
just kicked
between.
everybody off the island
Yeah,
because
there's
he's
nothing
gone.
in between. It's awful. I'm sorry, I'm just talking about Oahu, but my God, like there's other places that
That's where I
Here's
lived, Oahu.
here's a funny thing. My in-laws used to live down in Punta Gorda. I don't know why I keep saying funny. It's not funny. But my in-laws lived in Punta Gorda, and my father-in-law used to be a
wait, is
big
Punta Gorda in the Bahamas?
no, it's southwest Florida. It's by Fort
Why am I
Myers.
thinking that? Oh, I'm thinking of
Punta Cana?
Oh,
No, Punta Cana is
no,
not.
no, 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 no. Different Punta something.
Okay. So anyway, Punta Gorda is down north of Fort Myers. Anyway, and he when he was alive, he had always had big boats. I mean, like, when people go, hey, let's go down the beach. We got my friend's boat. You think, yeah, your dad's got a little boat. Just go out and hang out and have a couple beers on whatever. No, this was it was like a mini yacht. Anyway, so he took us. We got invited. His friends invited him to this place called Uppsala. Have you ever heard of Uppsala?
I've
Mm-mm.
heard of it.
It's an island in Charlotte Harbor, off of Punta Gorda, Charlotte, that area. where the billionaires kick the millionaires off. And there's no vehicles. You have to, only way to get there is by boat. It's all these big, nice houses. Everybody drives little golf carts around. There's no actual cars. And there's a hotel resort there that has a golf course and everything, of course. And you have to be a member to go there or be invited by a member. And we got invited, so we went to this brunch there. It was ridiculous. I mean, but the houses were not, they're not like, you expect billionaires to have like you go to, what's that up there in New York that everybody goes to, all the rich people.
The Hamptons.
Yes, everybody, the Hamptons.
Yeah, well, they've
Um,
got 17 of them, so they're not all.
but Uppsala was really, really nice. But I was like, man, you got to have a lot of dough to live here. And my father-in-law was like, yeah, the millionaires got kicked off. This is owned by the billionaires now. I was
Mark
like, wow.
Zuckerberg just bought up a piece of Hawaii and kicked everybody off their
Well,
land,
that's
Oh,
because
he's
basically.
owned
him
so
and
much
Oprah,
land there for so long.
and everybody else burnt that place down so they could take it over. Cheap land.
That's what happened. Well, I don't think it was cheap, but
I was thinking of
hey,
There's
I was
there's
thinking
the
of Virgin
conspiracy
Gorda.
theory to start off the year with, but
I was thinking,
billionaires.
I was thinking of Virgin Gorda, Zach.
Virgin Gorda, that's in
Yeah,
the Bahamas.
yeah. There's Punta Gorda in Florida, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and
Oh,
Virgin Gorda is in British Virgin Islands. So
oh,
okay,
it's
we
British
got
version.
that
It's not the
settled.
Bahamas. Okay,
No,
because I know the Bahamas. I mean,
BVI baby.
I like the Bahamas. You been?
Yes, been to Nassau, Eleutheris, Daniel,
First time I
Exumel.
went was in 1990,
Have you ever
89
swam with the pigs?
in the Bahamas.
Yeah,
No, but I heard about it.
it's touristy. There's a place called the
There's a couple big
Grotto.
broads at the beach. I mean, I don't know if that's the same thing.
Oh, it can't be. Come here, sweetheart. Oh, my little girl cat. She's
Meow meow.
curious. There's a place in that chain called the Grotto where they've actually filmed different movie scenes or whatever. That's a massive rock, and you can only get inside of it by like going under and swimming and holding your breath for like 30 seconds. Then you pop up, and it's just like this gemstone cavern where there's light coming through the top, and you kind of can climb up on the ledge and jump in. It just there's some cool stuff.
I would hate holding my breath for 30 seconds. I would feel claustrophobic.
Well, we'd probably just leave you down there. Oh, he sunk.
Trippy is not
I
buoyant.
may
Trippy is no
sink.
buoyancy. There's no floatage on him.
He
We watched
floated straight to the
we
hospital.
watched this show. Oh my gosh, it's about lifeguards in Hawaii. It's a new show. I can't think of what it's called, but they were doing a save under in the caverns, and they had to go hold their breath to swim up to the next air bubble.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, nope, I'm out. Whoever's
not
in
doing
there
that.
is dead. I'm sorry, I'm not saving them.
So you want
No,
to know a little piece of trivia? You know why Hawaii Five-O is called Hawaii Five-O? The show?
I've heard this before, but I want you to say it.
Say it.
Hawaii was the 50th state.
Yeah.
Oh well, do you know that police are called 50?
Yes.
5-0.
Yeah,
Yes.
Popo
They're
50.
called. They have another nickname for them too.
It
I'm
rhymes with
just
eggs.
I'm going through my notes and everything like my to-do, here for the week and
Oh,
it's like I got for tomorrow like um Thanksgiving dickweed house. I don't know what that means though, Zach.
Wow.
Oh, sorry,
Zach,
sorry.
remember Gators Dockside? They used to have a pad at the bar.
Uh-huh.
And so the person at seat one would be dickhead, and the person at seat two would be whatever, shithead. And one of the bartenders gave one of the regulars the pad. So I was answering, who's dickhead? I'm like, well, these are the seat numbers, so figure out for yourself. And I wish
The
you wouldn't
worst
have
was
given you
when
that
the worst
pad.
was when they
What you
were
mean you would name rogue customers?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, like
yeah,
people who are real jerks.
yeah. And then
Well,
they're like,
do you
what?
remember in Micros or Aloha, you could name them in there, and you had to be careful because if you named the check, then the check would go with that name
It would
on it.
print.
Yeah, you didn't
But
want to
this
do that.
wouldn't print. We never had a problem. And the bartender, some regular said, "What's on the pad?" She goes,
Who was the bartender? Was
"Here."
it DJ?
No, no, it was a new kid. He wasn't even a bartender. He just covered the bar for one night, and that was my big mistake.
There you go. The downfall of Tripperoo.
No, it wasn't my downfall. I said he wrote it.
Yeah, we used to have if you worked in the restaurant business, you definitely know that there's signals for a lot of different things.
Have you seen that movie Waiting?
I
Yes, of
haven't,
course.
but I heard it was good.
You've never seen Waiting and you worked in
No,
the
Dane
restaurant
Cook
business
and
for 30 something
Justin,
years.
whatever his
the
face is.
restaurant business has been 40 years now.
Ryan Reynolds is in it.
No, yeah, no, maybe I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes.
Anyway, they get the. You've seen it, right, Zach?
Of course.
Yeah, but you haven't, Trippy. Like it's just great because like they get those type of
Because it's
the
true.
Karens and the jerks
It
and
was almost
Oh
true to
yeah,
favor of what restaurant life is like, except the stuff they did to people's food. I mean, maybe some restaurants. They didn't do that
that
in my
doesn't
restaurant,
so
but
happen.
there
Like
was
I
there was one in this movie where they
I never
literally
let
took
anybody spit in people's food or anything
they
like
no,
took
that.
they took the steak and they played some game and they chucked it
Yeah.
on the ground. They start kicking it around the kitchen and everything. And it's just nasty. And then they just cook it a little longer and then they throw it back on the plate and they do some more obscene, vulgar things that you
but
can.
I've never seen that happen. I can say I've never. That's never happened where I
No,
work.
as far as I've been, look, all right. Have people drop the chicken wing on the ground and thrown it back in the fryer? Maybe. I don't know.
See, I don't know.
I
Like, I feel like there wouldn't be anything you could do that would really exact revenge because they wouldn't know anyway, right? And most of that stuff isn't going to do anything to hurt someone. And the only thing you can do to hurt someone would be to like undercook food, which is really serious issue.
Right.
well, if
Like,
you're caught sabotaging food, that's a federal offense.
dude, I don't know when they'll,
Federal?
have
Federal?
y'all ever been like gotten food poisoning?
Yes. If
Okay,
you've
so
worked in the restaurant business, it's a rite of passage.
you're talking an extremely short period of extreme discomfort, sometimes worse. I've had it for 36 hours and I've had it for 12 hours. And
It's better to put Visine in someone's drink.
dude, so we were in
Not that I
Italy.
know anything about that.
We were in Italy last September and October, okay? And our last night in Milan, we ate at this beautiful little wharf side area that was real popular. And the our waiter was having a really bad night with a lot of Karens, and we were really nice to him, and he really loved us, and I tipped him really good, and he invited us into the bar and made us drinks for free. And I had like veal something, fried veal, which is
Veal
Italian.
mascarpone.
We
Bill
freaking,
Piccata.
Veal
dude, we had
piccata.
to go on a train from Milan to Venice the next day and leave our place at about 10 a.m. 3 a.m. My eyes open. My thoughts go, the world isn't right now. 5 minutes later, the bubbling up starts,
Yep.
discomfort starts. And I kid you not, I'm in the bathroom without getting too visual. There are fluids coming out of every hole of my body at the same time. Okay? So we're using one part of the toilet, we're flushing and wiping as we're coming out the front end. It
Yeah.
was it was the most disastrous trail of tears. And at 3:30 my wife goes, "Oh, I don't feel good." And she's in the luckily we had a huge apartment. It was like 1,100 square feet downtown Milan, okay? And we were throwing up and crapping and just everything you can imagine for 5.5 hours we were crying. And the guy comes at like 9:30 and we're like, dude, we are so sorry. Like we had to get our stuff, get on the train. My wife gets motion sickness as it is. She's sitting there on the train. She's like, I can't do this. We get to
She can't
Venice.
take a Dramamine?
Venice, it doesn't work, dude, when you're that
Really?
sick.
Oh,
We get
oh
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Venice. There are no cars in Venice. You walk, like, there's no cars in Venice. It's
Right.
all cobblestone little pathways. We have to walk to the little hostel bed and breakfast. We get there, the dude, Italian style, starts feeding us champagne, and we are like the rudest people in the world. We are like, we are so sorry, and they don't understand hardly any English. We're like, we are so sorry. I know this is horribly rude. We've been poisoned. And this guy thought, oh, you're sick. Like, no, we're not contagious. We went to bed in our room when we got in there, and we slept in that room for 40 hours straight
Wow.
without eating or moving, and they looked at us like we were the biggest quasi queer-eyed people that ever because they didn't understand. They didn't understand, like, dude, we got some serious food poisoning. Okay, so
Man,
back to waiting and messing with people's food. Food poisoning, I mean, I've only had it twice, and both times were pretty bad. And this one, like, it was like this 6 hour period of near death experience followed by a day and a half of just brain shutdown, just conked, no food, no just coming back to life. It was bizarre, man.
I remember after the hurricane, I still don't know what I had, whether it was a stomach flu, a 24-hour bug, or I had food poisoning, or we were staying at that Airbnb and they were on a well and they think maybe the water got contaminated. Lorianne and
That's what it
Janet didn't get
Storm?
was.
sick. They didn't get sick, but I got, oh. And I remember waking up at about, I don't know, midnight or so, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh no, because I felt it sitting right here, the pressure. And I would sit up and I'd burp like the most loudest, vulgar burp you've ever heard. I'd be like, all right, I feel better. I can breathe. And then it'd want to come out the other end. And I'm like, oh, I better go in the bathroom to make sure. It
So
was,
can we get a Dumb and Dumber visual here?
it was
I've
horrible.
never had food poisoning.
No, then you'd
Not
never
It's
work.
yet.
How did you
it's
never work in a
basically
restaurant?
you pee out your butt for a day and a half,
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had it yet.
and then if it's really bad, you throw it up about every 5 minutes later while the toilet's
But
filled,
like
still rots of your diarrhea.
for lack
It's
I
horrific
don't usually get
That
sick.
sounds horrific.
for a short period.
Like if I get a cold, like I had a head cold last week, I mean it lasts a day and a half, 2 days maybe.
But food poisoning is your body literally purging out all of this, either salmonella or E. coli or
Right.
whatever.
E.
It's purge.
coli.
It's like when a cat eats a lily and it instinctually throws up and it needs charcoal to cycle like water through its kidneys. Food poisoning is this full body purge, and you basically just invert your body for a day and a half.
Yeah,
And
I've never had
the
it either.
number one concern is not to get dehydrated because
Right.
you're losing water nonstop.
So when I got sick after the hurricane, I lived on Gatorade and crackers.
Well, that's the best thing, I'm sure. Like he said, to hydrate and to keep something going in
Well,
your
they've got
stomach.
that Gatorade, this new Gatorade. I forget what it is. It's like got Gator Light, they call it. It's the electrolyte Gatorade. It's like
Got
high,
extra.
yeah, extra, and
Bless you.
that stuff was
Thank you.
really good. That stuff
I actually
worked.
don't feed the kids Gatorade. We feed them Pedialyte for the swim
Same
meets.
thing. Basically,
Yeah, Gatorade just has a lot of
No, no,
sugar.
this Gator Light is basically like Pedialyte.
Right,
And normally, I actually have packets of Propel around that you just add to water and it adds extra electrolytes. But
right.
we were in the middle of the moving process when we were redoing the kitchen, so I didn't know where it was.
Why don't you just get Gatorade or Powerade Zero?
I did. Oh, I
If you
had
don't
what
want
was
if you don't want all the sugar, so like when
I got the
Yeah,
electric the Gator Light Zero.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what I may get
you
I
buy
don't know
next.
if
those
you
28 ounce,
can hear that.
32-ounce things, and between
Huh?
us, we go through about 20 to 30 a week.
I don't know if you can hear it back in the background. I got a Rottweiler snoring behind me.
What's that?
Oh, is that Diesel? No,
No,
that's Prince.
Prince. Prince is on the ground sleeping, snoring away.
We
So
bored him.
I guess he's like, I've heard enough of you talking, Papa. It is enough.
I'm ready to sleep, Dad.
No, I'm not Dad. I'm Papa.
Oh yeah, Papa.
Pawpaw.
So, um, in case anybody's wondering, we don't have many topics this evening. I mean, we do, I'm sure, but it's the night before Thanksgiving, and all through the house, the turkey was crying because it knew it was about to get tore up.
Oh, can you give me a preview of that, Zach? Or what are we doing? Do we smoke it? Do we do traditional, or is that a surprise?
Traditional.
In
Sweet.
the oven.
You strike me as the I want to smoke the turkey kind of guy.
Lorianne does not like smoked meat.
Too dry.
She just doesn't like the flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
do one of these days want to do a deep fry.
Oh, that's good.
No, but normally
Yeah,
what I do is I peel the skin away, I stuff it with butter, cover the outside with olive oil, and then put nice seasoning all over it. We put it in a bag and in the oven it goes. So we got a
really.
25-pound bird for tomorrow,
Oh,
10 pounds of mashed potatoes that we did by hand.
whew.
You did it already.
Yeah, Lorianne wanted to do it. So we boiled the potatoes tonight. She left the skin on, which is pretty interesting.
And do you prep
I
the
like
turkey
that.
because of your chef experience?
I do the turkey. Yep.
Very
I do
nice.
the turkey. And then, like, so Christmas, we have a tradition. Every other year, we either do steak or prime rib, and I'll do prime rib crown.
Hmm.
Oh, so good. I'm gonna do it this year, I think.
You should do like beef Wellington.
Listen, Gordon
What?
Ramsay, settle down.
No, I'm just saying, man.
Nah, I like prime. I like yeah, prime rib. That's what it's called.
I do too, but like I find always a hard time like cutting it, because it's got to be so rare.
Yeah. Well, we do it on the bone, the crown.
Yeah.
My ex used to make a tenderloin.
Oh
She
yeah.
would slice it down before she put it in the oven, pack it with garlic and butter, wrap it, and then she would bake it, and you could literally eat it with a spoon. It was like a big chocolate log. Oh my gosh. But
Oh, that sounds
but
good.
be close to the bathroom because that butter.
Runs through you.
Let's
So how long does
go.
the 25-pound turkey take? What, like 6 hours to cook?
I don't know. I'll probably put it in when I get up in the morning to watch the parade.
Parade. Oh yeah, the Macy's Day Parade.
So Thanksgiving tradition. You were talking about how you used to go to that town in Michigan,
Frankenmuth.
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 Our Thanksgiving tradition was to go to the parade.
The
We
what?
go New York City parade, Macy's Day parade.
Really?
Yeah,
You would go downtown and see the Macy's Day Parade?
ever since I was a little kid.
Really?
And then we would go to Macy's and Lord and Taylor and see all the decorations.
That's pretty
Oh,
sweet.
that's nice.
And we would go to the city several times before Christmas because we'd go see the tree, we go skating at Rockefeller Plaza, we go eat at well, it's not there anymore, but Carnegie Deli. We
It's
go eat
not
at
there no more.
Katz's. No, I don't
Did you
think it
go to
is
like
anymore.
FAO Schwartz, the toy stores and stuff?
That wasn't around when I was a kid.
That wasn't around yet?
No.
And now it's gone again.
Is it? No.
Out of
When
business.
I used to go into the city, this was pre Giuliani. 42nd Street was not a safe place to walk around on. It was
Right,
now it has become very Disney-esque. It's where
right.
all the theaters are. I think Lion King's on 42nd Street, isn't it? The big
It
Lion King?
is.
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, what
And
like all the Broadway stuff is between like 42nd and 46, right?
Right.
Kind of in
I
that little
remember
patch.
one Christmas, me and my cousin ventured out from Macy's or Lord and Taylor, went down 42nd Street because we were looking for, back in the day we called them head shops, but they sold all the cool stuff, knives and throwing stars and pot
Hmm.
pipes and all that stuff, right? We went a little too far.
Which way? Too far east?
I don't remember, but all I know is two white boys walking down the street and you hear, yo, 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 man, what you need, what you need, what you need. I got it right here, right here. I'm like, all right, let's get out of here before they kidnap us and murder us. I don't need any heroin. No, thank you, sir. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
that
think
that's
I
all
think
been
I was
cleaned
like
up.
12 and he was 13. I mean, we were kids. And there
That's all
was
been cleaned
lots of
up.
hookers.
Yeah, now New York's weird because like you can go pretty much anywhere, but there's just kind of little spots where you probably wouldn't want to be even if they're in big crowds at night. You just kind of it's different. Like it's not a lot of slummy stuff on Manhattan really near
When
the
No,
when
lower side.
lovely though.
Giuliani cleared up New York,
Yeah.
cleaned it up, you could walk around
I guess
pretty
I'm just talking
much
about Manhattan.
anywhere you wanted and not worry about a thing. I don't know that I would do that now.
It's
The last time I went to New York City
We were there last June.
was probably 2005.
We were there last June. It was okay. Wasn't too
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, I've been there. I
I
mean,
mean,
I used to go to Brooklyn every weekend, so I mean, New York's New
well,
York.
yeah, I think that's
I haven't
probably
been there in 10 years.
New
You still
York
have
still.
family in Long Island?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brother's still in New Jersey too.
Did you guys know each other when you lived up there?
No,
No, down
Oh, okay.
here.
down here we
All
met
Okay.
down
here.
here.
So long
I've been
story
here most of my
short,
life.
I'm at a job fair. My ex-wife was a district manager for Victoria's Secrets, and we were at a job fair, and I helped her set up and everything, get ready and whatever. And I was standing there talking to the guy next to us, and it was I want to say Frosty.
Huh?
It's a
Dyke
guy,
Frost.
yeah, Frosty. I think it was Frosty. And he's like, so what are you doing? I was like, oh, my, blah, 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 telling him the story. And he's like, oh, what do you do for work? I said, I've been in security, been in law enforcement, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you ever run a restaurant? I go, no. I said, I don't have any education in that. He's like, you don't need any. I'll teach you everything you know. Why don't you come work for me? And that's how I went to work for Gators. Next thing you know, me and Trippy have been brothers ever since.
That's right.
Wait, wait, wait. This expo is down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Gotcha.
ex-wife ran Victoria's Secrets for
Gotcha.
she did Seminole Town Center, Point
Okay.
Orlando,
Okay.
Altamont. Anyway,
I
so
gotcha. I gotcha. I'm
I'm in
following.
management training and they put me with this slap nut to teach me how to run a restaurant. And we're in the back office doing the money counting at night, and he's sleeping.
Terrible.
He was terrible. He was sound asleep. And I'm like, Trippy, am I doing this right? Yeah. Just put it in the bag. It's fine. Just count the notes, put the notes in there.
Wait, you were working there already, Trippy?
He was
Yeah,
training
I
me. He
was
was my
there.
trainer.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what were you doing?
Sleeping.
Yeah.
He was freaking running the restaurant sleeping.
I
You
was
were?
tired.
Yeah, this is when Jeff used to work overnight at the restaurant at the Hilton, right?
Hyatt.
The Hyatt. And then he would come run Gators and he would sleep in the parking lot
Which
between
Gators did
shifts.
you work at?
I went to all of them. I would
So
move
I
around.
How
trained,
many
I
are there?
trained, there when
When
we
I was
were,
there, there was 23, 24, but now the owners split the units or
Uh,
broke up,
did you
and
ever
they're
run
down.
Jacksonville?
Huh?
Did you ever run Jacksonville?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them.
How about Mickey
Until they
Finn's?
opened more. Bay Meadows, 103rd, and that was
I did Apopka,
Popka.
Winter Springs.
I was there.
I think I did Winter Park a little bit when it was in that
I
movie
ran Winter
theater.
Park.
That movie
I've only ever been to Hunters Creek, and then we have one out by us in Windermere off 535 by
That's
Lock.
new too. Hunters Creek is even fairly new. Hunters Creek is probably 10 years now.
The one by us has got to be only like 5 years, Lackland and 535.
You remember
That's
that
Winter Garden, right?
Well, it's considered Windermere.
you remember that restaurant in Hunters Creek called Big Kahuna's?
Oh,
Like it was like
yeah.
a Hooters.
No. It was actually a Hawaiian restaurant.
Oh,
They made this pineapple pulled pork that was to die
that
for.
sounds good.
Yeah, the restaurant was amazing, but
Well, now you
obviously.
just got to go to Ohana at Polynesian.
Yeah, they have that. Yeah.
Oh, is that
It
good?
is the freaking best.
I'll have to check it out.
Actually, you know what was the best was the when they had the Polynesian dinner show that they dozed to build in all the new DVC stuff. But they used to have a 3 hour all you
The
can eat
luau.
drink luau. Yeah, it was just freaking awesome. And
They've been talking about dosing it for years
What's the
now.
what's the best restaurant on Disney property?
in
Depends on
terms of
what you
what?
like.
Bang for the buck.
Well,
What's his
that's the
name?
thing about. Go ahead.
Chef Art Smith's
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Here's the thing about Disney restaurants is the reason why people go to them is bang for the buck, meaning they're all most are expensive, but most give you that value or greater.
The restaurant your
People
wife
really
used to
like
work
Chef
at.
Art Smith's.
I'll be honest with you, the two restaurants I go to the most would be Polynesian Ohana, because it's like family style, all you can eat, or Boma, which is a African buffet at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Is just I don't
Boma's
know why.
popular.
Yeah, just I like it.
Really?
But I would say
Everybody
the
likes it.
most popular upscale restaurants on Disney property would be Victoria and Albert's at Grand Floridian, which is like $400 a head, impossible to get in. You need to make a call to do it. Um, to
And
someone you know.
Tifton's.
Or well, Tiffin's is good, but like California Grill at Contemporary is the top of the Contempo, and you can actually go out on the balcony and watch the fireworks. It's kind of a popular thing. You'll end up paying
Oh,
$100 a head there.
that's expensive. California Grill?
Yeah, it's not the most, but it's up there.
Nice.
That place your wife used to work at, Trippy, was pretty good.
Prime
What
time.
was what
Primetime
one?
Cafe.
50s prime time.
Oh, heck yeah, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the nice fried
She took
chicken.
good care of us when we went and visited her.
Trippy,
Yeah, that's a fun place.
I may have eaten at as many Disney restaurants as you.
I've eaten at the least. I
Oh,
don't get
okay.
out much.
I
He
gotcha.
goes he goes to work and then he goes home. He doesn't eat anywhere. Well,
I don't get out
people
much.
used to ask me like, when I worked at Planet, like they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you must eat go everywhere in Disney, you must eat." I'm like, "No. I go to work and I go home." I mean,
Do
although
my
we
hit the
would
gate.
sometimes do a server day event. We weren't supposed to, but managers aren't supposed to hang out with the staff, but we did. We didn't, whatever. And we would go to Epcot and do around the world and
Oh, we got to do that, man. But you guys don't ever drink though, right? Like
I
I'll drink,
drink.
I'll drink like once every 2 or 3 months. I'll have like three or four.
Tears of
Zach, you
Mordor.
don't drink at all.
No.
Zach doesn't.
Yeah, I will. I'll drink if we go away like vacation, like Germany. I'm gonna have a beer most nights, because you're Germany. It's
Yeah.
German beer.
Yeah.
It's like the law.
But
Like
here, literally, like I probably only go out and have 2 or 3 drinks, maybe every like 2 months, three
do they
months.
serve beer in Germany cold?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, because beer in England is not cold.
that's
Hefeweizen.
not necessarily true. It
Well,
gets
when
both.
I was there in '86, the pub I went to, they served it. It
I
was
don't think I had any warm beer when I was there last time.
I had some Boddingtons.
I got some
I actually liked it. Actually, it was not bad.
I got some beer and gin from ABC because I went over to my neighbor's the other night and I showed him and I got some Samuel Smith beer, which is brewed in Tadcaster outside of London. It's phenomenal. And then some Highclere Castle gin, which is where, if you know that show Downton Abbey on Prime or
I've
PBS,
heard of it.
it was a
Yeah, I've heard of
huge
it.
show. And we went there to that place. It's called Highclere Castle and they make their own gin and stuff. And it's good. It's just fun. I
We
like,
Sounds good.
yeah.
when I used to drink, I liked I was a very basic guy, but every once in a while I'd branch out, and my friend got me this beer called Black and Voodoo from Dixie Brewery out of
Like
Louisiana.
it sounds like a stout.
It was like chocolate milk and it was delicious.
Ah, like like
Yingling makes
like
like a
like
Hershey
like
stout.
Guinness Dark, right? Like stout.
But it was
Yeah.
so good.
I
But
love
but the
stout.
problem with Guinness is like you need a fork and knife, it's it's so thick.
Guinness is like the lightest beer there is, man. It's only
Yep.
4% alcohol. It's only like
Is it
150
really?
calories.
I like
Is it
Guinness.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guinness is light as light can get.
Did you ever have a true black and tan Guinness in Boddington?
Yes.
No.
At
Yeah.
Mulvaney's in downtown Orlando.
Well,
What's that bar? Oh, the Crown and Rose.
Rose and
Rose and
Crown.
Rose and
Crown.
Crown. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Trippy, let's go to Epcot and drink around the world this
Let's
weekend.
go. Zach can go.
I'll be
He
your
wants
He can
to.
designated
eat.
driver.
I'll go. I'm in.
I can
Okay, when you
eat.
want
We can eat
to,
around the world.
let's go.
We
What's your
can
favorite restaurant in Epcot?
uh you know
Trippy.
I don't get out as much as I should, but
Don't lie. Don't
The
lie.
Japanese restaurant's pretty good.
It's okay.
uh I
I
would
don't
say the
think
Canadian restaurant. It's a good steak.
Le Cellier, yeah, it's okay. I don't think there's that much
How about the
in
Mexican restaurant
That's my favorite,
the,
actually. Now that I
the one
think of it, yeah.
inside, not on Hell,
in the on the Aztec Tower? Or
not on Hell.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
Spice Road Table in Morocco, and then there's one in Chef. There's Chef de France, but right above it is kind of a secret, real fancy one called
It's real fancy.
Monsieur Paul,
Right.
and that's
Monsieur
that's a
Paul.
cool place.
Isn't there like a real secret exclusive bar in Disney that only
There's a
cast
club
members know
called
about?
D33 where you pay about 30, 40 grand to get in, and then about 15 grand a year, and you have like
Club 33, right?
yeah, and basically businesses do it because they'll get like 15 annual passes, and then there's secret clubs in every park with lounges, and then
What
they
was
get
the
all
one
these.
above? Wasn't it called the Brown Derby or something? It wasn't there like a
That's in
secret bar?
Hollywood Studios.
It's
Wasn't there
not
something above
secret.
it? No, 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 above it. There was something above
There's
it.
nothing above the Brown Derby.
No? Okay. See,
No.
There's Club 33s like in hidden areas, and I think most.
well, when I worked at Planet, I was friends with one of the servers, and me and him went to go see a concert at House of Blues, and we went to MGM before. We were anyway. He's taking, or maybe where were we? But he took me to this place that was like just for cast members. Like
Huh.
it was like the secret bar. Like nobody knew it was there.
Huh.
Like you had to have the special Mickey handshake to get in. Come on in,
I don't know
guys.
about
Hello,
that.
folks.
Have a beer, asshole.
Want to see a concert?
Hey, I'm dead serious though. I want to go
Let's go drink around the world. I'm in.
Do you like Universal as much as you like Disney?
Uh,
No, we have those premiere passes because they're not that expensive, but we haven't even been since the last year Horror Nights. We never go, and the reason isn't that we don't see it. That's more of a like an amusement park. They've got some theming, like the Harry Potter stuff is cool, but the problem I have is again, look at where we all live on the outskirts, right? The more you live on the outskirts, the less you like the central BS. And I don't like to go down where Universal is just to drive. I mean, I
Right.
have valet parking, right?
Right.
I could stroll right in, but you can't even get a spot and you just about die every time you go there. So
Huh.
like I like Disney. I say I like Disney because I get to stay in my bubble way out west. I don't have
And
to
it's
go.
easy to get there from your house. You just cut
Yeah, I don't
down
have to go through
Western
the
Way and
poop
you're
hole,
right
the
there.
cesspool of people trying to kill you involuntarily with their vehicles.
Have you
Well,
been on
my
the
thing about Universal is the parking garages. I hate those parking garages
yeah.
too.
I mean,
Universal.
once you get in them, though, I mean, it's
Have you
they're
been
just
on the new Skytram or whatever it is at Disney?
No, I haven't.
guy
At
train.
Disney?
What is the thing the like the gondolas?
Cable cars.
Cable cars. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
The Skyliner.
Skyliner.
Yeah, I've been on that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Interesting.
We
I was
see
down there
we've
the
done
other
it
day. I saw
before
it
where
for the first time.
we've done it before we've done an Epcot day tripping, then we'll exit out the back like when the park's still open earlier, and we'll take it up to the Riviera and we'll go up to Topolino's, which you can never get into, but there's a bar and you can have a drink and then go on a little
It's
balcony
great. I
and you
heard
can
it's
see
great.
all that and then you can just take another 5-10 minute ride back to go back in the park.
I heard that's
Well,
a great restaurant, Topolino's.
It is. They have a really cool breakfast. And then you can get in for dinner. It's very hard to get in for breakfast because that's one of the best breakfasts in Disney.
That's what I've heard.
And it's a very good breakfast.
I've heard that.
Very
You can cook
fancy.
eggs to order
It's
too.
very proper.
Proper.
Very proper.
I want to stay in the Cinderella Palace.
You can't I don't know if they do that anymore, but it used to be like 25 grand a night.
Well, some people are winning a
Okay, I don't
night.
want to stay in it anymore, but that's all right.
We've been in the tunnel below where you can see the elevator going up. We did the Keys to the Kingdom tour.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool.
Wow.
We've done there's actually I think like there's a lot of backstage tours, maybe 10 or 12, and we've done maybe half of them. But like Epcot, they have the land tour where you can go inside the greenhouse. In Animal Kingdom, you can do a safari where you go, on the rope bridge across the Kilimanjaro thing and go eat, a little lunch out on the savannah. There's a lot of cool little tours like that you can do.
When I when
It's,
I worked at
Nice.
Disney Boardwalk, I used
ooh,
to love
baby.
I used to love doing the little tug driving it through the tunnels underneath the whole boardwalk. People had no idea.
Really? I've never seen those.
Yeah, it's
Is it
underneath
cool?
it's underneath it. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I gotta see that, man.
They
Take
don't
me
want
there.
to
I
see you
haven't seen that.
driving around dropping stuff off. Everything's behind the scenes. Keep it
So
secret.
trippy, so trippy. Okay, here we go. Here's a great topic. Drinking around the world at Epcot. Everyone can relate to this. There's what, 11 or 12 countries. Now, we're old, right? So we can't drink in every country anymore. We won't pay.
No.
But we can go around it 2 to 3 times in a 3 hour period and we can have three drinks, okay? That's our
Let's
rule.
do this.
And then we need an hour or two to sober, and stay, and then we'll leave. And then, you got to be responsible. So we're responsible drinking, unlike many things that happen at Disney now. What are your three drinks, where, and why?
So, like I said, I like Guinness. So, Rose and Crown's one of them.
So we're getting a Guinness at Rose and Crown, okay?
And then I like champagne. So, France has, well, it could be France or Italy, but they both have good champagne.
Okay,
France is known for
that's pretty gay.
champagne.
I
It has to be
understand.
made in the Champagne
It's
region
pretty
to be
liberal
real
of you.
champagne.
Yeah, yeah. You can do that.
So, and then, um, really, they have pretty creative stuff on tap everywhere. So, I would just say venture any one of the kiosks. Well, that was Food and Wine. Okay, so let me think
So
now.
the kiosks are open pretty much every festival all the time, and they pretty much do
Right.
the same stuff now.
Yeah.
Pretty
But
much. Pretty
They just
much.
had the Food and Wine Festival, didn't they?
I mean, I would say I would
Yeah.
get me a nice margarita in Mexico too.
Okay, okay. That's a little cliche. Well, we gotta go at the
They
little
have the tequila bar there though.
we
That's
could
not
go to the tequila bar inside. That's
Why
fun.
don't you go do a sake shot in Japan?
I don't like sake, but
Sake is kind of, not really that fun, and there's no alcohol in it hardly, so it's like why you
yeah, I'm not. It's hot, isn't it still?
it's
Yeah,
served warm and it's like wine.
it's
It's
rice
only like
wine.
12% alcohol and
It's
it and
rice
it
wine,
tastes
right?
why would you drink warm rubbing alcohol that's only 12%?
I don't understand the fascination with it. Like you see it in movies and people like eating sushi and I mean I like beer with sushi, so I don't understand
Oh,
the
heck yeah,
fascination.
man. Freaking Kieran or like what's the other one? I think
Qingdao.
no, that's Taiwanese, but Kirin is a or Asaki or
Kawasaki.
no, there's two, Kirin and Asaki or I don't know. I
Like
should Google it.
I think if we were drinking around the
But they're
world, I would
good.
eat in Mexico and drink some another margarita.
So here's what we're doing for me, okay? First stop, if they have it, is at the refreshment outpost just near Canada, where you kind of veer up to the right, up a little ramp. If they have a frozen mojito, we're getting one. If they don't, we're not. We're going to keep going. Guinness is just too common. We can't get it. We're going to stop at Morocco in the bar at Spice Road Table. We're going to walk through those two big doors, and we are going to have an iced mint tea, which is just Bombay gin, which is it's about 3 shots of it and a splash of unsweetened tea and mint, and that's it. And it's the cleanest thing ever. Then, if they have it, we're going to go to Joffrey's and get a like a tropical tea or Bombay. It's basically like an Arnie Palmer with like freaking Grey Goose in it.
I
A-
think that sounds good.
or a Fire and Ice, which is basically lemonade, slushy lemon with the Goldschlager or whatever the cinnamon whiskey or whatever. That's
What is the new,
fantastic.
oh, Fireball. That's the new, everybody
But
drinks
yeah, or
Fireball.
fire. It's yeah, it'd be fire.
Fireball.
So that's a Fire and Ice, but it's not there all the time. And then I would say, if we still got one left in us, we might go to the American Pavilion near where the funnel cake thing is. Just past that, there's this little hexagonal stand just past it before there, and they have Kentucky Barrel Bourbon Barrel Ale.
No, I
And
would
that,
drink that. I like
and that
that.
is 16 ounces of 9% alcohol. All you need is one.
So you know where I just was, and like I said, I don't get out much, but I was just at Yellow Dog Eats. You may have heard of it because you're in the
It's
That's in Gotha,
in
isn't it?
Gotha.
but it's Winter Garden,
Gotha.
Ocoee,
Both.
No, it's
Gotha.
Gotha.
Everyone talks about that place,
You need to
Yeah,
go.
they got great sandwiches.
but it's
That's what it
in
is. It's a sandwich place, but
Gotha.
it's great.
Is
Gotha.
that is that like if you keep going north on Apopka Island past the turnpike,
Yes.
like up there?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
so
That's like
it's on the border of Winter Garden and Windermere-ish.
but
It's
it's
part of my
Gotha.
territory, actually. It's
It's
called Gotha.
Gotha.
Yeah,
You know
Gotha.
that's where Bob Ross is buried.
There's a big cemetery there.
That's where
Really?
Bob Ross is buried, the painter with the
Is he?
afro. Yes.
The guy
Did they
with the
put a pretty little
birds.
bird? The
He
pretty
was
little
Yes.
bird.
cool. He was
He
cool.
was born and raised there and he was buried there.
When he used to splotch the painting, I like that. When
Yes.
I splotch the painting, all I do is make a mess.
You can go
But
to Yellow Dog Eats and go visit Bob Ross's grave.
that place, they had a bourbon ale. I didn't even know of it, but my friend ordered one. Then she ordered me one. We were just there for Friendsgiving. I just said, "Yeah, I'll swing through." That was actually my idea.
Did you get a
We
turkey
got to go
sandwich?
there. And you can bring your dog.
Oh yeah?
Well, that's pretty cool. So Zach could go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can't go to Disney, but you can go to Yellow Dog Eats.
I could go to Disney.
No, you can't. You don't have a. You're not part of the secret club.
Listen, I am
Listen,
the
when you're
secret.
ready, I'm ready. That'd be a
I am the
fun
secret
day.
club.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You tell me. Let's do it.
So, it's funny. We're talking about theme parks, and here in Orlando we have the mecca of them. But I was kind of disappointed, but I'm a really big SeaWorld fan. But last time I was there, well, I guess it was COVID-esque,
Hmm.
and it was like there was nothing open. It was like very, I mean, all the
Well,
shows were
now it's
going and everything.
back.
Yeah.
It's back. They just everything kind of closes early, so you got to get there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the old,
SeaWorld actually has some pretty cool bars. They have
we
something called
actually,
the
if we
Shark
ever
Bar.
were to buy season passes, I think we'd buy SeaWorld passes.
They're
I
they're
like
dirt,
SeaWorld.
they're dirt cheap. It's a great place, but again, for me going there, I don't feel like dying driving there.
Driving
So
through
we would take
Kirkland.
535 to where it comes out on Apopka Vineland, take Palm Parkway to Central Florida and straight in. And we just ran two 5Ks there. One was just a inaugural morning 5K, and another one was the late night Hollow Scream or Hollow Sprint, whatever, where you went through the haunted. It was pretty cool. And we like SeaWorld, but again, it's just the same thing for me with Universal. I just don't want to die going to the theme park.
What's this new theme park they're building?
That's the one building right by us called Epic Universe. It's going to be
Epic Universe.
so
That's
this
is that
I have
another
another
Disney theme
story.
park?
This is 3 miles from Turbo
No,
to
Universal.
Orlando. Okay. It's going to be the biggest theme park in Orlando. You can fit all 4 Disney parks inside of it. That's a whopping park. So you're going to have a minimum of 150 to 200,000 guests there every day and the same amount of employees. Within 3 miles of my tint shop, which
Holy
means
cow.
when even three people all day Google tint, we will be number one on every single result, which is cool. And Zach, the main lantern lights in the hub of that park are this funky kind of like bronzish color that you just see bronze during the day and at night, the lights, and we are tinting those.
Nice.
Really?
Good
We are
When does
job.
that
tinting those.
start?
Did you score that?
No, that came to me.
Oh,
And I
When
actually
does
just
that
talked.
start? When do you start doing it?
Well, I'm working. I got samples, and then we already did a test one for this company called Four Wall Entertainment. And actually, I've been talking a couple weeks, but she brought them over. We put some different options on. I got one more option coming. She came by today, liked one of them that she took back. To just got to get their approval, and when they're good, it's not a money maker or big project or anything disruptive for us. It's just really cool to have our name associated with that project
Right.
because you're a local vendor.
So that was my topic was small business. Remember we were gonna if we did get to a topic today?
Yeah, you were. Yes, you were. You
well,
had when
we're
you were.
into hour number
Well,
Are we
this
into
is a 6 hour, so we're fine.
6 hours.
We're
Dude,
not even
we're
get
into,
started.
no, my time regular.
our good friend Daniel did a 6 hour
We're
podcast on
not doing six
election.
hours.
No, I don't know how he did it. How do you talk for 6 hours?
Fun fact. My longest telephone conversation ever was over 6 hours.
Well,
Yeah,
fun
but I can
fact, my
imagine.
actual first telephone conversation with Lorianne was 11 hours.
11,
11.
11,
11.
11
Me and my
straight.
wife, when we
Not
first met, we used to
12, not
talk on the
10, but
phone
11.
hours,
Did you take a
hours.
shit during that
No,
conversation?
I did not. It was all night long. Literally, we're on the phone and I went,
All
holy
night
crap.
long, all
All
night,
night, all
all
night,
night.
I'm not
all
singing
night.
along.
Anyway,
Zach, you win and you are in love.
no.
Congratulations.
So
I'm
I'm
serious.
talking to her and like this is how I know she was the one because
You're
A,
loving
there was
it.
never any dead time down. There was never awkward silence, anything like that. We just talked about everything and anything. And then I remember at one point in time, I go, holy crap. She's like, what? I go, the sun's coming up. She's like, oh my, we've been on the phone. I was going through batteries. The old days where you could swap out batteries on your phone. I had to put them in the freezer because they were getting so hot. I had to keep my phone plugged in because it kept,
That's great.
it was a long chat.
Cute story.
Yeah, that was the first night I knew. She got me. I was done. Game over. Anybody who keep up with Big Papa talking, that's it.
11 hours.
Yep,
11 hours.
11. I can get her in here if you want. See if she'll. No, she won't come in here.
She needs to get back on the show.
I know, but she's in her
This is
pajamas right now.
Chicago. Hard to say. I'm sorry. It's just for you, Zach. After all I've
Um,
been through.
right. Good old Chicago. But all right. So uh
Yo,
Trippy, small businesses. You said you had something important you wanted to talk about.
No, not important. Just a story, a funny story. But
Ha
so
ha
when I was a
funny or
kid, I used
clown
to have a
funny?
small business, and it was cleaning. So, and one day, when I get a cleaning job, I remember in particular
Scrub a
this
dub.
warehouse, huh?
Scrub a dub.
Scrub it up.
That's his company's
And
name, Scrub a dub.
yeah, actually, so I got a call from this warehouse. They bought the building and they had to move in, and they said we keep calling guys to pressure clean the inside of the building, and nobody will come out to even look at it. It was out on Landstar. It was out actually by you, sort of that way. Landstar and OBT and
yeah, where Culligan is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the first thing she said is nobody would come out. So I'm like, I'll be right out there. Then I knew I wasn't up against any bids, and I give her the price, and then I'm not even prepared to do the job. I have one pressure cleaner. So I go to this place, General Rental, and I rent three pressure cleaners and a trailer to do the job over a couple of days. And it was a great price. It was great. In the end, I made really well. I met the owner at General Rental. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "I clean, mostly strip and wax floors and stuff." He said, "My floor needs stripping and waxing." I always remember the guy was an arrogant asshole. He was really successful. His business did really well. It was on 436 in Castleberry. It was always busy. You literally stand there in line at the counter just to get something. It'd take 30 minutes between the paperwork and all that was handwritten back then. And when I was stripping and waxing the floor that one Sunday, because it was the only way he could do it was on a Sunday, he starts telling me he goes to his register and he unloads all the cash from Saturday and he says, this is just Saturdays is the day I take the cash and I invest it in the stock market. I said, oh, what are you buying? He said he's buying Home Depot stock and you should buy it. You should take this $500 I'm paying you today and buy Home Depot stock. I said, yeah, of course. I was a kid. I took the $500 and spent it drinking. But I remember always thinking,
Attaboy.
I remember always thinking, so if I understood how to buy stock back then, that's something I always point out as something we really need to talk to kids about is investing in the stock market, learning more about it. I'd have done really well.
Crypto,
But where
baby.
I'm landing with this story is what's funny about this story is from his store right up the road was this old nursery. It was a glass greenhouse, giant greenhouse. Well, Home Depot bought it and built a giant store there.
Oh,
And
right by
they got
Circus Circus.
yes. And then they got into equipment rental and just cannibalized his business and ultimately he shut it down and sold the building. So I always talk about how big business consumed small business in every respect. I've always seen that how they just have really eaten up everything small business is doing. They really take it over. Just like me, I'm in the medical waste business. Every time I try to get an account, I'm up against Stericycle. And Stericycle's just got it all together. And then they sign them up and the contract auto renews after 3 years. If they don't cancel within 90 days of the three year
It's
of the
called
3 year
Evergreen
expiration,
You're
contract.
locked in.
Yep.
you're locked in forever. So I was thinking, if we're gonna have this ultra aggressive new presidential administration that's gonna do all these great things, I was just thinking we should have money allocated to small business to stay in business and to fight big business.
That's a Kamala policy.
Well, it's a small business policy because the other day when we were talking about business and you were saying this is what I like about Trump, everything you were talking about Trump felt like everything you were reading about Trump on his first term was more like a trickle down approach. Like we're going to
Yeah, I
deregulate
don't
with
I
Trump.
don't like free anything because as a business owner, I end up paying the taxes for it. So no, thank you.
No, no, but I'm talking about a bridge loan to get you to that. But not every small business has to take it, but a bridge loan to get you to that point. I would like to see that. I would like to see it for my business where
So
I
would
could
this
take
be a
a
forgivable loan? Would this be a zero interest loan? Would this be a prime rate delayed interest?
everything winds up in negotiation in the House and the Senate. I mean, I think it should be
Because
a
that
low
to me
interest
that
loan,
does make a difference. I am for truly true loans at prime rate, right, or low interest. That's.
low interest.
But I will tell you this, Trippy, have you ever worked with the SBA?
I've talked to him several times. There's
No,
actually when
no.
you
Have
leave
you
my
ever
house,
have you ever closed down a loan with the SBA? Because I
no,
closed down three.
I've never have.
What is a four-letter word that starts with N F and ends with uck? That F that, okay? No offense, but my first one took me 7 months to close, Trippy, and they told me my equity injection was going to be as low as 10 to 15%. My loan ended up being 350K, and I had to inject 180K of cash. And that was 7 months later. It was a total piece of poop. There's only one good thing about it. It's pretty low interest rate, and it's pretty
But what
long.
if they change that?
They can't, it's the government. So I applied for disaster relief for the state of Florida from hurricane because I lost 20 grand of revenue. I haven't even heard back. It's been 8 weeks. How, as a business, if that killed my business, it killed the business. I don't have 8 weeks to not talk to you, right? Anything government lending, in its current state of fat and bureaucracy, does not work. I'm not saying it's not structured right. It's not responsive enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not responsive enough. The only one loan that's probably decent would be an SBA 7A Express loan, which is 150K or less. That you can get within a couple weeks, right? And you don't have to have collateral, you don't have to inject and that kind of stuff. I support that one. That's pretty good. Everything else is baloney schmoney. I'd rather go private lending and pay a little more interest.
What
Well,
were
that's
those?
the
What
thing
were those
is
PPP loans they were doing during COVID?
I
payroll
got a
protection, right?
PPP loan for my marketing business, and now actually people are
Did
just starting to see their ERC loans 2 years later. A couple of
did they
my
forgive it?
Mine, yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
mine was only like 22 grand. But there's
But
people mine in my industry who are gotten ERC loans for six figures that just came through 2.5 years later.
that they just got the money?
Yep, just got it.
Well, I received an email where $150,000 PPE loan was forgiven. So when I just see,
Well,
like
there
you
was
said, you
PPE
take
and
the
there was
SBA
ERC. ERC was employment retention credit, and PPE was that.
payroll protection.
Right, right. They're two different things. So even as a
Yeah.
contractor, if you were a 1099 for yourself, you could get PPE. It was easy. Forgiven ERC is what took forever because you had to prove payroll and you had to be open during COVID. before a specific date. So ERC was a lot more intensive, but a lot more behind it too.
So, for example, there was a Bubbaloo's Bodacious Barbecue on Lee Road. So we got to shut it
Oh
down.
yeah.
We don't have employees anymore. We're just getting killed by. When you look at where its location, it's across the street from really new restaurants. A bunch of them have popped up. PF
Did
Chang's
all
and
Bubbaloo's go out?
no,
No,
the one store.
there's one
Because
on
the one in Popka went
Conroy
out
by
too.
Kirkman.
It's still there.
Okay,
Conroy
because
But
by
they
Kirkman.
yeah, because the one
but
in the
they
Popka went
closed the
under.
one store because they couldn't get employees in there. They couldn't compete with the competition, and it was a epic place. And all they
That was
needed
the
was
original, wasn't it?
yes. What they needed was cash
Babaloo's.
infusion. They needed $1 million to build their own building and create a business to compete with all the new guys across the street.
Right.
Well, I got to be
And
honest with you, I was not a big fan of their food anyway.
a
What does
lot of
that
people
have to do
were.
with the loan thing?
Get
I'm
them
just
that
saying.
loan
For what?
to keep going. I mean, I don't know who would take the loan and who wouldn't take the loan, but all I've ever seen over the years
Why are you trying to
is
give
just
money
big
away?
business consuming everything small business
Well,
does.
I think that's because I think we don't have enough regulation on what big business can merge and acquire. That's the problem. Like we have this monopoly thing, right? Can you now let's keep this simple. Let's be really stupid. Let's be cavemen here for a minute. We don't know anything about anything. All we know is
Thank you. Thank you.
yes, all we know is what
Clink.
Amazon and Google look like. How in God's name is Amazon not the biggest monopoly that has ever existed on the... You know what? It's bigger than the government. Amazon is into every business model that has consumption on this earth. The fact that that is allowed is what destroys small businesses. More subsidies for small businesses don't, they might keep them going, Trippy, I agree
It
with
can
you,
destroy
but they
big
don't make
businesses.
them competitive, right? So if you gave me $1 million today to build a fancy warehouse for e-commerce, I'd get my butt whipped by Amazon. It wouldn't matter, right? They're just like the problem in general is that you can consume everything just from like three or four brands in the world, and no one ever breaks anything up whatsoever. And to me, I do not understand that. Like somebody on the face of this planet, give me one good logical three-word sentence smidget that frickin' tells me how Amazon is not the biggest monopoly ever created. Is that not antitrust?
No, I
Why
agree.
is
I
that in
100% agree.
existence? You're not even going to have pharmacies anymore in a year, dude.
Do you
You're going
remember
to
how that
have
came
Amazon,
about?
Walmart, and Big Pharma, and they all pay each other. They pay the news to talk good things about each other. The cycle repeats. That's where all your money goes,
Well,
and
you can get your prescription on Amazon now.
it's bullshit. All of your consumption money goes to all these companies, and then
Yeah.
all of your tax money goes to the federal government that's paid not to stop or do anything or subsidize anything else and keeps antitrust away from these companies. So all of our money eventually goes into the hands of these companies. So it doesn't matter what you are, what you do. If there's no regulation on what you can merge, acquire, grow, whatever that is supposed to be in place, you're never going to compete eventually. Like, I
Well, you're
mean,
not going to compete.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I get it, but
Where did
we're
Jeff
just
go?
printing money and we're gonna lose anyway. We're gonna lose the inflation game to a big company.
We lost Trippy.
Amazon,
Yo,
Berkshire
Trippy, you froze.
Hathaway.
stop
I did.
freezing.
You froze. Yeah, you're dude. What's up with your
Am I
Wi-Fi?
back?
Yeah,
What
you're
the
back.
heck? This is like
I'm
freaking
back.
Dire Straits money for nothing here.
It is.
So Amazon, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Berkshire Hathaway got together and they were going to create an insurance company for only their three companies. It was called Haven. I don't know if
You've
you
told
heard of
us
it.
this before.
Yeah, I've heard of Haven.
And then ultimately that didn't work out, but Amazon got into pharmaceuticals. They got a lot of proprietary information. So when you talk
Yep.
about antitrust, why isn't that addressed? Because I just
Because yeah,
recently I got an
you can
email.
get your prescription on Amazon.
They're big into pharmaceuticals and they're killing a little guy. And
They're
I like
killing
the little
everyone.
Well, my favorite pharmacy is Publix, but
I,
I don't know.
Publix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They never
public
have my
pharmacy.
eye. They never have my eye drops.
Oh man, my pharmacist bought a fence from me, so I'm very loyal to her.
He's your friend for life. Well,
She.
that's what I'd like to see. That was my story. That was my soapbox for today. Was
Amazon started out as a you could buy books, and I think they were really promoting it towards students and stuff.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden
But
it
he was a
turned
computer
into,
engineer, right? Jeff
and
Bezos.
I don't know, Jeff
Can you talk again,
Bezos.
Trippy?
Are you
Jeff
back?
Bezos was a computer engineer when he
Don't know.
started that
You don't know if
company.
he's back or not.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I'm Zach, by the way. You're back.
Sorry,
It's
I
Larry.
wanted to play an old 80s music video because you were flashing all over the screen and no one could see you. So you were like jumping positions and like having a shadow tail behind you. So
It was kind
it
of cool.
it was totally cool.
Will you get your Wi-Fi boosted at your house or something, bro?
Looked at, will you get your Wi-Fi looked at? Maybe look
What's
into
going on?
Amazon's new product, okay?
Yeah, I bet you it's
It's called Amazon Godspeed.
Well, I'll have to get Starlink.
get
I know you guys are
Starlink.
Elon for
You know
Call
what,
your
Trippy? I
boy.
just realized I think sometimes I argue with you just to argue with you like it's expected, but I don't necessarily disagree with
I
you.
think Zach does the same thing
We
too.
do.
Well, of course, it's like wait till we get another conservative on the show. It'll just be 3 to 1.
He's got that Biden look right now. I think he's just farting in his pants.
Dude. Oh my gosh. The other night we were out and we were at Dr. Phillips for a concert and we were out in the lobby.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I let one loose.
Yeah?
Lorianne
Was it
goes, Lori,
STD? Was it
yeah, and Lorianne goes, someone crop dusted us. I go, it was me. She's like,
Hey,
what is wrong with you? I'm
everything.
like,
You have
dude,
no idea.
I go into Whole Foods and fancy places like that and go down the cheese aisle and people are like, oh, what is that?
You know what?
Lovely cheese smell.
I think you've got something weird going here because I enjoy doing that. And you know why I do? And this is why I do, because when I'm in a line in a theme park, there are plenty of people who just let them and they just stand there.
Right.
And it's like you're sitting there in the line for Avatar and you're like, you smell. I know you just farted. This is disgusting. And I'm breathing your fart into my body. Just this and I can plug my nose, but that means I'm eating your fart. I don't want to fart. So my way of kind of like getting vengeance on the world is doing that. Crop
Crop
dusting
dusting.
is the best
Well,
ever.
we just talked about it. The greatest thing about
when
theme
we're
parks is the beer and the food
But
and
not eating the farts. I don't like eating people's farts.
but I mean,
dude, when I was in
you
the
drink all
restaurant
that
business,
beer, you drink all that whiskey, you eat all these 90 different cultural foods. I mean, what are you gonna do when you're standing in line? You're
I
gonna
think the
fart.
point of a children's a theme park originally was to have fun for the kids. So even though I believe it is fun to have a few drinks, I do not believe in plaster nation in
No.
front of these children as one semi-mentally challenged custodian who was brilliant once said to me, "You don't drink in front of your kids." And he was frickin' right.
Well,
yeah,
I
no,
don't.
I don't like that. I
I
don't like when you
never,
see because dude, I've had it many times at Epcot, and I'm not kidding, where I've seen kids standing around looking for their parents, and I've gone right up to them and like, "Do you know where your parents are?" and signaled to a cast member to like get with this kid here because the parents are plastered or passed out, or I'm serious, and
well,
it's sad,
did you
man.
hear it was, this happened, I think, over the
And
summer.
by the way, these parks are like prime targets for trafficking and stuff.
Yes,
And
100%.
it terrifies me because you see this kid and he's like, and he lost mom and dad. And you can't just go up to this kid and start talking to him like you're some freak. So
Yeah, that would be an issue.
you got to find cast members and coordinate this to say, come here, right? And then just casually say, is everything fine? Don't worry, we're gonna find him. We got everyone right here. Everything's good. But I'm serious. That's a relatively common thing from too much alcohol.
I lost Andrew in Magic Kingdom one time.
But
Well,
you weren't plastered.
were you
No, he did. Well,
on a bench?
he hit on, no, he hit on me. He was watching me the whole time. He thought it was hilarious.
Who did?
I
Oh.
about murdered him.
Oh, he was hiding from you.
Yeah, he thought he was funny. I thought he walked off in the crowd. I freaked out. Oh boy. That sudden fear, that panic comes over you
Pre-cell phone?
pre-cell phone.
Hey, what
And it was,
concert did you go to the other night?
Jana's choir concert, UCF choir.
Was it at in the main hall?
Steinmetz Hall. Steinmetz, not the
Okay.
big one, the one next to it, which I
Okay,
think
cool.
actually I like it. I think it sounds better. It's acoustically better.
We enjoy going there. We go there for like some Broadway stuff here and there.
Yeah,
Or-
I saw Foreigner there.
Foreigner?
Yeah, I don't even know why they're
Was
called
that like
foreign anymore because
was it
it's
in
not even any.
1992 when you saw him, or
What
No,
is
it
it,
was
Journey?
no, not Journey. I said Foreigner. I
Isn't
wish it
that the
was
same?
Journey. They're not the same. Two different
No?
bands.
no? They're not
No,
the same.
Steve
Trippy.
Perry
You know.
and Graham Young, two different people.
We had to
But
go to
anyway,
the good.
we went and saw it. And first of all, why do they call it Foreigner anymore? Not one of the original members is even in the band anymore. It's like a cover band. I was like, I paid $40 to go see a cover band. This is ridiculous. But anyway, they put on a good show. But when during COVID, they had the outside theater going on, and we
Oh
saw
yeah.
Sammy Hagar came with the circle. Man, he
Did
put
they
on
Oh,
did
a
they try to get to
good show.
make you wear a mask
No, they had like these little box seats. Everybody sat in like a section of four
outside?
outside.
That is stupid.
It was,
They should
but
just put you
oh,
through an
you're
ethyl
but
alcohol shower.
but yes, you had to walk through it when you walked in. Stupid.
you
You
guys
must
are still
mist me with
you guys are
alcohol.
still on the bitter COVID chant. I'm like, what are they talking about? Seating
Dude,
four at a
COVID
time.
ruined my life, man. I hate COVID. I'll talk so much crap about COVID. Like I want to punch COVID in the face, man. If
That's
COVID was
probably where all
If
the
COVID was a guy, I would whoop
if
his
if if COVID was Timon back here, he would be his head would be missing.
Timon. Don't be mean to
you know,
Timon.
that's probably why so many people are anti-Democratic Party because they really screwed the pooch when it came to
Well, I
COVID.
think people just felt like that was an intentional control move,
Well, here's
and I
But
the
if
don't
it
funny
think
were,
thing.
I always say if it were, it was a collusion between the two parties because a lot of big business got a lot of good out of it.
yeah, to me, I don't even think like I don't even consider it a partisan thing, a a one partisan political thing. I do believe it was a control experiment. And
It
I
was for certain.
I'm
I
not saying it
agree.
was a Democratic or a Republic.
No.
It was
It was
definitely
a
like
government.
it was,
I mean, for example, car companies are doing business the way they always wish they could. They hated rebating cars just to get them off the lot. They just felt like that was just money wasted. Now you're paying a lot more for a car today because they're doing business the way they want because of COVID. There's no more 1,000 cars on the lot and take this one to get a $2,000 rebate or take.
Nah, it's actually back to that.
Is it?
Yes,
Because that would be
because
nice.
we just bought new cars.
Yeah, but you bought two cars and made it right for the same guy.
Yeah,
It's different.
I
They
pulled out
they
the
were bound.
samurai sword and they weren't even ready.
I don't know. I
Chopped
like
heads.
the whole COVID thing was a fiasco. I mean, I'm pro-vaccine, but it's because I am pro-vaccine. If you don't want a vaccine, don't get a damn
Then you're
vaccine.
not pro-vaccine. You're choice vaccine for yourself.
I believe in vaccines. That's all.
Well, maybe that's why
I
you're
don't.
going
They
blind in one
shouldn't be
eye and
mandated.
you got a third head growing out of your shoulder.
But no, but somebody like that said they've been mandated all the years. These kids can't even go to school without vaccines, and this guy's like, "Oh no, there's religious exceptions." I'm like, what parent goes through all that paperwork?
oh, trippy. I actually talked to
A
someone
lot.
yesterday from Philadelphia during COVID who was in law enforcement, and they said that the way they coped with it was by getting religious exemptions because it was so easy to do. Like
Was it easy?
he literally
Yeah.
told me you could put like I worship the Church of Wild Cherry Pepsi and like you're good. Because I asked, I was like, what did you do?
Yeah, but
She said, oh, we
how many
all did
people got
religious
fired
exemption.
or let go because they wouldn't get the shot?
I don't know that it started with the Biden administration was going to start firing the military, and that was short lived. And again, that's where the animosity became towards the
Yeah.
Democratic Party is look, our military doesn't want to get vaccinated. They shouldn't have to get vaccinated. They're serving our country for a sub rate pay and sub rate living standards at times, and they're separated from their family. And now you're burdening them with another onus because you have some belief that if everybody doesn't get vaccinated, the hospitals are going to be so full that you simply can't get treated for a lung infection if you have pneumonia because the hospitals will just be overwhelmed with COVID patients. And it's like, wait, let's wait to the point where the hospitals are overwhelmed and then let's start talking about mandating something when we know what's really going on. So I've always said the Democratic Party screwed the
Hey,
pooch.
Trippy, whatever happened to my body, my choice?
Ha
Well,
You want to get rid of baby mistakes, but I got to put a needle in my arm. I don't think so, brother. One way or the other, okay? They're either both yes or both no. Like, let's at least be consistent.
Right.
Well,
And
that's
like I
like,
said, Trippy,
So
you're not
I
pro.
am pro-choice vaccine, and I am rare, legal, safe, exception, pro-choice abortion.
and that's essentially where we're at today. So we've,
Isn't that where everyone is, though? Isn't everyone that?
and that's
No.
where the
No,
country
I
is
mean
No,
now.
no,
there's some
Zach.
crazy.
Wouldn't you be pro-life except they said Lorianne's gonna die if you don't abort the baby? Right? Because the Bible says your spouse is before your kids. So you would be pro-life except if the doctor said she's gonna die, but if she loses it, she's gonna live, right?
And but here's the funny thing, Lorianne would say, "Let me die and save the baby."
But that would be your
But
choice.
that at
That's
least
the
is her
way it
choice.
should be.
That's
That
her
is the
choice.
way it is now.
No,
And I'm
yeah, but
agreeing
there's
with
all these
both of
crazy
you.
But
purple-haired
I'm
chicks
saying,
yelling
Zach,
that they want to have the
wouldn't you
fetus
feel
ripped
like you
out.
would rather save her though?
Of course.
Right, right.
But it
As
wouldn't
I
be
would
his
my wife.
decision
Right.
Why wouldn't it be my decision? I'm the husband.
because it's Lorianne's decision.
It's a collective
It's a
decision.
collective decision.
You are one to become one. Now it's her
That's true.
body, but you're still married, so you agreed to make
That's true.
decisions
I'd have
together.
to agree. We're in these
Huh?
rare moments, we
You know,
agree.
and it's funny, everybody goes marriage is a 50-50. No, marriage is 100
Did
100.
we just agree?
That's scary.
Did we
Did
just
we just
become
become
best
best
friends?
friends?
We're getting there.
Oh
I
my
could have said
Certainly.
the
gosh.
other lines, but they're not appropriate for the show. So,
Yeah.
do you want to do karate in the
This is
garage?
PG-13.
Yes. Now you can
I
play. Now you
Look,
can play your
here's my
all the
philosophy
goat
on
songs.
here was my philosophy on the shot, okay? If you need it,
Get
get
it.
it. If you are that scared and you want it, get it.
Get it.
But don't tell me what I have to get.
Especially if you're young and healthy, it's like, you
well,
know what?
Or be
the
fat and not
shot
healthy
came
and still
about. I
not
always
get it.
make this point. You could say I've made it 7 times. I know I have. The shot was created by the Donald Trump administration. Not saying it was a bad thing. Saying that's how it got created.
Yeah, and at the
And
time,
then
that
we
was the
go to if
demand.
you want it, if you need it, get it. Whereas the Democrats took it and ran with it. And
But
that's
who
where the
mandated it?
animosity became.
The
But did
Democrats.
the Trump administration mandate it?
No.
No. And that's where we agree again is that, when you guys say, hey, this guy's a diehard liberal. No, I'm not.
I actually
But
like you tonight for the first time.
well, I've
I'm just,
always been the same.
I'm just kidding.
But I'm just saying when we're talking about like we're saying about my choice, my body, that goes with the shot too. The contradictions
It goes
run
with
wild and run
anything.
vast.
Look, my argument was my choice, my body back when I was a smoker. If I wanted to smoke, that was my business. Don't tell me. I know what it does. I know how bad it is for me. So why are you going to tell me? Right?
But that's like seatbelt laws back in the day. Seatbelt laws were
That was a constitutional thing. I said it was against my freedom of movement.
okay.
So if
But
I
you
want
know
to go through
what?
the windshield, it's my decision.
But who won in the end? Big business. Because insurance said, look, stick with it. Because the more people that buckle up, the less liability we have. The
Take it or
more
click
people,
it.
less people will die.
Boom, boom, stick.
Boom, boom, boom. Collect the $20, Zach. Thanks.
I was gonna bring mine in tonight.
Well, okay, we can go another 6 hours. I'm good.
Because that's not boom boom. That is
Hey, my
boom
body,
boom.
my choice.
I
Right?
agree.
Hey,
So
these implants.
but why did they okay, first of all, let me get this off my chest. Why
Uh,
are people
um,
still wearing masks?
That's up to
well,
them.
listen,
But
listen,
why?
listen. Japanese culture, consideration, respect. Pre-COVID, not feeling so well riding the subway. I'm wearing a mask to protect you. Beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. It's called respect and consideration. COVID hits, whatever. The mask doesn't really prevent transmission. It does prevent a little mucus splatter and that kind of crap. I'm not like, I don't, whatever. To me, stupid. I'm not going to cause a scene. Wearing on an airplane, totally ridiculous. That's the cleanest air circulation anywhere in the entire world. Probably better than outside. Stupid, whatever. I'm over it. No big deal. Now, years later, you see someone wandering out in a park with a mask. totally their body, their choice, but totally hilarious. Or in their, or I would remember even during COVID, this one always got me going. It was awesome. You see someone driving alone in their car and they've got a mask on. It's like,
Today,
ooh,
I saw it
who's
today.
gonna come out and get you? The boogeyman gonna give you COVID? Oh, oh my God! Don't look at me through that glass. I might transmit something.
I saw it today. Someone was driving with a mask on.
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
you, sir, are a douchebag.
no,
Yeah, but you
you know
know
what I
what? We're
always say
down
when
to
I
the
see
point
that?
where
When I see someone wearing a mask, now I'm like, thank you for saving the world. Let me ask you a question. All right. We all know masks didn't work.
Well, they're great for ugly people.
Yeah. There's
I
a lot
mean,
of people that hooked
like
up and
if
they took their masks off. They're
like
like,
to me, right? Like
whoa.
I'll be like,
What?
oh, I covered my nose, like, hey, I feel like I'm pretty,
And how many people did you see wearing masks like this? Yeah, they're no, I'm like, it's not even working. What are you doing? I remember when
I think it's very comical. I just like,
we
I
flew
don't,
to Chicago for a wedding,
I'm
and it was
sorry.
during COVID, and
it is comical.
we had to wear a mask, on the plane. So I kept my mask right here the whole time because I just had a water bottle. I'd have it sitting right here. Every time that they'd walk by and look at me, I just take a little sip of my drink.
So that's what I would do when I first moved here. You still had to wear masks outside at Disney. No, sorry, that was when we first came here and decided we were going to move here. So Memorial Day 2020, you had to wear masks outside at Disney Springs, and it's 95 degrees. Every person there is like, "This is great, but F this." All you would do is you take a drink with a straw, you'd put it down to your chin, and you just stroll around with that straw in your mouth.
Absolutely, 100%.
I can't
Yeah,
get
the
you
whole thing
sick.
was
I can't get you
ridiculous.
sick. Oh no, you didn't. They're like, oh, put that back. What? What?
The whole thing was ridiculous.
Right. Or you're at Publix or Walmart or wherever you are, and they've got the plastic screen blocking you between you and the cashier, but they still got to reach around and take the money from you.
The whole
Hey,
thing's
I've
ridiculous.
just licked that dollar bill.
when
There
you're
you
on a
go.
plane and they feed you your little snackaroo, and you put your butt diaper down to your chin, and you're just eating it, and then the guy next to you is like, "Ugh." Like, oh, thank you for preventing the spread.
Or like when I fly, they feed you a
Here's,
meal.
you know what? Here's what kills me, guys. Okay, we're done with this COVID crap. Thank God. It's still going to take another 5 years to get the world right. It screwed us all. You don't no clue how bad it screwed us, but here we are recovering fine.
Do you
It's
think we'll
over.
ever know the real number of deaths from COVID that were
We'll never
actually
know the real
true?
number, and we'll
Yeah,
really
You
never know
can't know the real number. You
the real
can't know who had
economic.
an immune deficiency from cancer, who
We'll
died
never
of.
we'll never know the real economic impact either. It just destroyed people's livelihoods. Okay,
agreed.
but but here's what kills me. Here's what I learned from COVID about hygiene. Consequently, I don't get sick ever. COVID, yeah, got COVID a bunch. It was awesome.
You just told
Natural
us a
immunity.
story about how you were peeing out your butt.
That's food poisoning, dude. Anyone can get
Yeah,
that.
you're right. You're right. That's not
That's
really
not
sick.
immunity.
Right,
Immunity,
right,
my
right.
friend.
Immunity
Okay,
sickness.
Benny Hinn,
Okay.
listen. Now,
Benny Hinn.
I some preachers on the TV.
I know who he is.
Listen, I shake a ton of hands at work if I'm there, like maybe 50. I wash my hands within 30 seconds of every person I shake. For myself, for them, hygiene. I think that's a great practice. I didn't do it to
You
that
wash with
extent.
water and soap, or you use
Water and soap. No
okay.
alcohol, just soap actually that's it's a lipid, so it actually takes the bacteria off of your hands, right? So you want that. You want the real wash, okay? I think that's a great thing. I didn't do it to that extent until COVID. Okay. When I get home, I alcohol wipe down my phone. I blow my nose so any particles that are in my nostrils that can come in later and get me sick have blown out. And then I gargle mouthwash and wash my hands. Works like a charm. I'm happy. I'm happy about those habits that I've taken from COVID and I keep, and they don't affect you and are cringe. In fact, they actually help you because when you come into contact with me, I'm as clean as I can be. So I feel great about it, right? And I don't have to walk around with a butt diaper, and that's fantastic because that's not living. Then I'd rather be dead. Okay. So, um, what I really wish is when you go to maybe like a buffet, for example, we didn't learn from COVID that that hand sanitizer we used to have to require. Why don't we just keep that as a requirement? Like, because you're publicly eating, right? Why not have something like, hey, just do a little sanitizer. Okay, go touch all the forks. Simple stuff like that that doesn't encroach on your freedom, your preferences, promotes hygienic behavior,
Well, I think we're
not.
still there. I think
No,
we're
I know,
still
but you
there.
but you know what I'm saying, right? Why don't we just take the rational, logical things and bring them into our lives? More hand washing, just don't don't breathe all over people. Just, you know, don't overtouch someone if they don't want to be, blah, blah, blah. Just simple stuff, right? Courtesy. Let's get back to being hygienic and
Who's
courteous.
Curtis? Who's
Let's be
Curtis?
Curtis. Let's
Hello,
be.
Curtis. Well,
Do,
yeah.
do, what do you guys feel about that?
I mean, no,
I love it.
I'm not disagreeing.
The first thing you did when I saw you talk about the hand sanitizers like this, they got battery operated hand sanitizer now, so you don't even touch the button. Those are things we learned from COVID, and it's still around, and I still
But
do it. I wash my hands 100 times a day, and that was great. And it's I stick with it, but I'm never gonna wear a mask under any circumstance, other than if I'm visiting a terminally ill patient who cannot have any sort of outside bacteria.
right,
I would wear a mask going into the
we went to
room.
visit a friend who had a heart transplant, and we had to wear
Right.
the
And
full suit.
that's
Yeah,
entirely different.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna put this out there because I think it's time we start wrapping up. The Democratic Party screwed the pooch when it comes to COVID, but I could list a hundred on both sides of the aisle where the pooch has been screwed. But there is a certain rite of passage to be a diehard Republican, and there is a certain rite of passage to say if you're a liberal, you're an idiot. And that's not good. We need to get away from the winner takes all politics and get on to some sort of understanding that
That people are people.
basically either both parties want to see us fail and they're working really really adamantly towards that together, or and we need to take control of the system and take the system out of their hands, because I see a lot of that
I've
too
been
where
saying
both
it since
parties
day
work
one.
together and screw us royally. So
Doge.
well,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I will say this, not to start a whole new conversation. I don't see Trump being the reason for the solution. I see Trump being the reason for the solution because after Trump, there is going to be an understanding that bipartisan, that winner takes all politics is what is destructive in America. The other
I
thing,
totally did not
until
follow that.
until they clean the House and the Senate,
well, that's not going to happen until we take control.
drain the swamp.
That's
Term
not
limits.
Term
that's
limits for
a
sure.
No
100%.
more salaries.
we had that movement. Term limits was reelect nobody, and it didn't
Look,
survive. And they go from
give
No,
Congress and give them.
no legislative salaries.
I would like to
Who
see that,
wants
but
to run now, big boy? Who
Right.
wants to
I
step
think
up
there would still be
now?
a lot of people. But the scary part would it would be a lot of very wealthy people, and I don't want to see that
That is
either.
not scary. They employ people.
We should be able to, that's the
Speaking
thing where
of,
we put too much faith in success.
did you
Everybody should,
see
there's a,
Listen, Trippy, here's my two options. Faith in over bloated bureaucracy that doesn't compete and is there to control you. Faith in competitive growth and success in an environment where efficiency is required to survive and thrive. I choose that. I don't care. I know it's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than this.
well, I want people to learn how to
Touche.
survive and thrive. I would
For
like to see a
sure.
change in our education system where we not provide, where,
You
the
know how
old,
we do that is through the hand of the marketplace, the invisible hand of the marketplace.
right.
That's a little controversial, and I'm going to get crap for this, but be a little bit realistic. Natural selection is survival of the fittest, and unfortunately, we don't all have the same gifts. And of course, we don't want to run people over and destroy them. Of course, we don't want to see people starve. Of course, we want compassion and empathy. But at the end of the day, if we're creating an environment where we control it, where we're efficient, where our dollars are put to good use, where we have the right leaders, efficiency and competition play a very large role.
Well,
And,
let me
and
say it this
welfare
way.
and social have a place, but they definitely don't. They have a much stricter, rule of entry or
you
whatever
know
you
what
want to call
we're gonna have to do, Trippy, is have Daryl back on with Derek.
it. Like any
Well,
type
I
of
want to make
like.
this one last point because I think we are getting to the point where we need to make some last points. But
I'm up.
um,
We're doing 6 hour
when we
show.
talk about efficiency and when we talk about survival, we would talk about competition. I'm going to make this one point. I'm going to use Donald Trump as the primary example, and where I'm going to land with this is where I always land on education. There's been an argument. Donald Trump says my dad gave me $1 million. There's been the argument your dad gave you a business and you mortgaged $400 million worth of buildings, and that's what you had to work with. Here's what his dad gave him that had more to do with his success than money. His dad gave him the understanding of how to run that business. His dad gave him the understanding of how to deal with New York contractors and the corruption and the
Yep.
connections. His dad gave him the 40 years of heavy lifting his dad did to
Yep.
build the business to where it was when Donald Trump took over.
But Fred
Not
was no
everybody
Fred
has
was no
that dad,
mogul.
huh?
Fred was closer to a slumlord than a mogul, though.
But the slumlord is where it all started.
Yeah, I
And
know.
there's a lot to be said about that.
Yeah, I
But what
know.
his dad gave him was the understanding of how to run that business and how to create that 40 years of heavy lifting, that 40 years of connections.
Yeah,
You've
and he's
got
pretty
not
open. And he's
everybody
pretty
has
open
that
about it, though,
dad.
too.
Huh?
He's pretty open about it, too.
No, that's fine. I'm not arguing that
But
anymore.
I
I'm
will
no
say
longer.
this. But I will say this too. Like it's kind of like sports, right? Not everyone can be an Olympia. Why can't everyone be an Olympian? Because an Olympian isn't just training. It's not just diet. It's not just coaching. It's not just luck. It's not just circumstance. It's not just drugs. It's not just genetics. It's all of them. So
Right.
the top gold medal winner is the most genetically inclined, the hardest training, the best diet, the best trainer, the best opportunity, the best circumstance, the best serendipity, and the best drugs. I don't care what you say. All of those things are on point for the number one guy in any category of any individual sport. Okay. So, this I'll say about Trump. Yes, he did have a foundation. Yes, he did have a. However, despite all of that, if you gave a guy nothing and still gave him the Trump work ethic and mentality, I think he'd be pretty far ahead still. And I say that from like a mindset of look at how our future president-elect, former president, ran his campaign, ran the presidency. Um, he's no alcohol, he's no sleep, he's go go go, no days off, he's nonstop. He might not be where he's at now, but I think there'd be a good chance he'd be a financially successful person with the work ethic and structure he has, with the discipline he has.
My point is
At a
we've got
different
to
scale. Yeah.
start everybody somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. People start on different
We're
paths.
not starting everybody anywhere. We're taking kids, we're ushering them through the K through 12 system,
Yep.
throwing them to the walls and telling them find your way, and they're not finding their way. And then they're getting frustrated and they're turning to illegal activities to make extra money.
I think because the
That's not the way.
messaging, they're getting the wrong messaging too, though. Because if you take your parents' generation, everyone threw them to the wolves too. They just weren't getting the messaging. So you know what the messaging was? Work if you want to eat, biatch. And you know what
Well,
they did? They worked two, three jobs. They went in the frickin' service. They had six kids. That's what they did because they didn't receive the messaging. So now this generation, they get the parental kind of the padding, and then they get the social messaging. And so when you throw them to the wolves, they're like, like the horror movie where they're like freaking out, and then you're like, just kill them. Like I don't even want you to live anymore because you don't shut the hell up. Like just end them. Like whereas the greatest generation, your parents, they didn't have the messaging or the padding. They were chucked over here on over a boat and said, "Hey, tomorrow you run out of food and you have nowhere to live. So you're 14 now, so you got to go to the factory, get a job, get an apartment today, and you got to get food today. You got to do this all today before we go to sleep. Otherwise, tomorrow you die." And they went out and they got a job, a place to stay,
well,
and they got
fortunately
food.
that's changed,
Well, no,
but
but it's
Because you
that's
know
really
what?
it's
Because if
funny.
they spend any time doing, there wouldn't be enough time to get it done. So they
It'd be
said, "Oh
dead.
shit, I better go get it done."
So that's funny you say that because my grandparents came over from the Ukraine, right? They had 9 kids, 5 boys, or
Yeah.
four boys, 5 girls. And my dad, I think it was, I want to say he was in elementary school or middle school. Anyway, they started every morning. They went to the bean farm and picked beans because they get paid 25 cents a bushel, which
Boom,
back then
baby.
was huge. And they had to help support the family so they could eat. It
The
wasn't like
great,
they weren't picking beans that when I was in high school, I went and got my first job at 14 so I could have money in my pocket. I wanted what we called cheesy pockets. Put
the,
that cheese in my pocket, yo.
the greatest motivation for success is hunger.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm glad some of that's
I
changed,
am being
but
stone cold serious.
I
I'm
used
not
to
well, I'm
have
glad some of
I
that's
used to
changed
have
though.
I
I
don't know
will
if
say that.
Jeff, I don't remember if you remember my office in the car when I was the general manager at the car dealership. I had that sign on the wall that said the best way to get back on your feet was be late with a car payment.
Does that mean like you're walking to work?
Heck yeah. I'll come
Oh,
get
okay,
your
I got
car.
you. I got you.
I used to introduce people when they were signing up for their cars. I'd introduce them to the repo man. I said, this is
I
the
I
only
don't
time
gotta.
understand the connection.
if you don't pay your car note, I'm gonna come take your car. So they met the repo man. He would sit in my office. And I was like, this is the only time you want to ever meet Bobby, because if you see Bobby when I'm not around, that means he's coming to get your car because you didn't pay for it.
Well,
Really?
So
It's like the
don't.
honesty pledge.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
gonna say
hardcore.
this. I'm glad some of that's changed, but I'm also thinking, we could do better with the
Well,
messaging,
here's the
like you said.
problem with this generation today. All right. Now I'm going to put in my 47
I think they
cents.
should just go into the schools and be like, hey, you want to be a dentist? This is what they make. This is what you can expect. This is what you got to pay. This is the schooling you got to do. This is the ROI. Do you like it? If you do, here's the ROI.
I
See
don't
what
want
you
to do
like.
that. I want to be a.
Here's the ROI of all these careers and all this schooling, and which one do you like? And pick the two best that
I want to
intersect.
be an influencer.
Now go to the Wolves.
Well, that's what we're trying to be.
Well, the wonderful thing is you can be an
Yeah, but
influencer
we're.
while still going to work, my friends.
Yeah, but
'Cause I don't know
That's
everybody.
about
true.
y'all, but I got a job.
That's what we're all doing. That's true.
So I think you can have a job, you can have two jobs, you can have three jobs, and you can decide to have
But
fun with your friends.
They don't have the chutzpah like we do.
No, they don't. But I
Well,
think you can teach it to
that's
them.
okay. The world's for people who are hungry too.
They sit on the corner. I
Let's
see them at
start.
every traffic light.
Let's start wrapping this up, guys.
Why you got to go to bed?
I gotta go to bed.
Is the tryptophan kicking in? Oh, we haven't even had turkey yet. That's tomorrow.
I
Boom,
need
boom,
that.
boom, boom.
I need that.
I'm giving you some.
Go on
It's
Amazon.
like tampon Tim. Eh, eh.
Here we go. That was my key.
I love you guys.
All
All
right.
right,
Well,
guys.
guys, thank you for another exciting adventure with us as we travel down the road of the road to nowhere because it leads to me. But thanks for joining us on Political No Brainer. We really appreciate you and we love for you to be here, subscribing, telling your friends, sharing, liking, commenting. Just bring it. Come on. And for me, my co-hosts Derek and Trippy, we want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
I'll
Eat
call you
that
guys tomorrow.
turkey, yo. Gobble, gobble, gobble,
No
gobble,
yuck.
gobble.